Man, look at that thumbnail. We talk about this every week, but
what a nice thumbnail.
Look at that fucking thumbnail, man.
Lazy work.
You get out of here.
You should have cleaned it up before you put it on there. It's covered in blood. It's all dirty, man. It doesn't look
copy
good.
and paste that.
Hey, that's my blood. I'm proud of my blood.
Good news, guys. Korea government has announced a plan to support the games industry. They are, they're basically lightening up on restrictions and stuff like that, and they're going to try and create 102,000 new jobs. Thank you, Daniel Ahmad.
Great. There's a cat.
Meanwhile, we're still like, video games make you blind. What is up, Kyle? PSVR Gaming, Joe Grover, the effing game cat, Robert Sullivan, Orseek, Delusions of Grandeur, EAE, Ben Schroeder, Robbie B, the English game cat, David Regan, Johnny Ripe off the Straight Cat, Creeper Betty, what's up? Aviator 96,
people.
Chief the VR Gamer, Janice Frazier, Salvador Saavedra, Andrew Bailey, Warren Gore, the Glorious Game Cat, Your Long Shadows, Hibsy, the Game Cat, Corks, the Game Cat, Nick Traxler, E-Dog, Wink Rogers, the Game Cat, Spotlight, Green Man, Robert Sullivan, once again, Professor Lilith, Napa Bear, Ryan Horst, Gay Panic, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's here. WSWS, Victor Bossop. Everybody's here. What is up, guys?
What is up, guys? What is down, cats? What is left, airplanes?
Dave's computer's down.
Yeah, no, Dave.
Oh, no.
We haven't even started the show. Dave's already gone.
Shit moves on. Guys, I'm just
Sorry,
I didn't get everybody this time.
He's back. There he is. I think we better start the show while Dave's actually here. This is amazing. Fantastic. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live, where we film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll tell you, this week flew by. We had some shit going on. We had some things to do, had games to play. Before I knew it, I missed all of Tuesday and all of Wednesday and most of Thursday. And here we are. It's Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. My name is Bryan Paul from this channel right here with that Parole. And these guys next to me, David from the Illuminati, as we confirmed in VR Takeover from Davestation.
Check it out. I'll get you guys in. If you need an invite, just let me know. Drop me a line.
More information.
Illuminati link in the description.
As somebody, was asking about the Illuminati in the comments on that video, and I will say the satanic orgies are on hold at the moment. But we're having great Zoom brunches.
That's not a selling point. Get the fuck out of here. Bring the satanic rituals back. Satanic orgies. We need blood. We need sexual parts flying everywhere. And that guy in the far right-hand side of the screen, way outside of my window, which I almost hit by doing that, is AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What's up? What's going on, guys? What's up, Game Cats? Look at all you guys. I couldn't even... This is the first time the chat won. I couldn't even keep up with it all.
The chat won. You fought the chat and
you guys win. I fought the chat and the chat won. Yes.
Well, housekeeping to get out of the way. Thank you, everybody, for being here. All the cats in the chat. Dave and AJ. And, of course, me. I'm here. We're all here. I thank myself as well. Housekeeping, make sure you join that Discord. The link is in the description. This conversation about video games happens pretty much 24/7. It goes off the rails all the time. Discord. It's like an AOL chat room for 2020.
Yeah. It's like an AOL chat room with like 20 chat rooms in it.
Yeah.
And it's all these old sub chat rooms. It's nice.
A lot of cool people joining too. A lot of the conversations have been all over the place lately. I've been kind of missing in action because of Saints and Sinners, but we'll get to that later. Also, make sure you consider hitting us on Patreon, patreon.com/withoutparole. And make sure you subscribe to these guys right here, Davestation VR and AJ PSVR Underground.
Kyle is mentioning someone donated. I think maybe.
We have a lot of donations. Go ahead and hit that. We have four. Oh. We have three or four donations. Let's get it out of the way. Oh no, Dave. Oh no, wait.
I have no idea what's going on. I think we've lost Dave. If this keeps up, I'm going to just take care of this on my own. I'm going to scroll way back, and I'm just going to take care of the first one right here while Dave's running at 1 frame per minute. Fuck you! I'm British, and I'm gonna fucking yell. Oh yeah, Robbie B, the English game cat, with the 10 £10 donation, said, "I want to start proceedings with this statement: Saints and Sinners is the best game on PlayStation VR, hands down. What an incredible achievement by the devs. The port is flawless, IMO. Let this be a benchmark.
I agree.
I also agree. We're going to talk, dude, thank you so much for starting off the proceedings with a very positive note. We're going to talk a lot about Saints and Sinners today. I mean, AJ and I will. Dave will just stare at us lovingly. Also, let's go scroll down just a little bit to make sure we get. Fuck you! I'm a stray cat. I don't know where I'm going. I don't have a home or anybody positives hiding. I'm Johnny Rypop, the stray cat, with the $5.49 Canadian dollars. He says 60K subs. Soon it will be 100K subs. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man. I almost gave you like a whole Twitter shout out thing, and then I didn't.
Yeah, I kind of let these things go. I try not to make a big deal about subscriber counts or whatever. I'm really really appreciative of all of you guys out there, but like it's you guys. It has nothing to do with me. It's you guys out there. It's you guys are an amazing community, and me going like 60K. It's like Bryan, stop fucking patting yourself on the back, man. It's you guys, and you guys are the coolest part of this channel. So thank you very much, Johnny Rypop. Scrolling down.
For school.
Fuck you! I get to do 2 tips in a row because I'm a moderator. Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat, again, with the $3.99 Canadian, says, will Saints and Sinners take out Astro Evil 7 for the #1 spot? Boy, is that
good question.
It's going to be a great conversation later, dude.
I'm so glad that is a conversation months down the line.
Thank goodness. Rise from your grave.
Pixelated for me now. I'm sure I'm pixelated too. So... Did I miss the tips, or do you guys already do the tips?
We got, I think, one more to go. Is that right?
Oh, wait, yeah, one more. Sorry.
Do you want to get that?
Is Amplify, the Game Cat, sorry.
Amplify.
With the $3.99 donation says, finally get to see you guys live.
Prayer hands. Welcome to church, folks.
Welcome to Amplify. I like the name.
Service on Thursdays.
Oh yeah, Amplify. I feel like he has not gotten a shout out for his GameCat name change.
That's true.
So somebody make sure to hashtag GameCat him somewhere, or I don't know. Maybe I should do it. And he's again.
Oh my god, another one.
that is.
The
Jesus Christ,
one.
Man. That is Amplify the Game Cat. Once I get with a $4.99 donation says, no, Bryan, you guys are amazing. It's why we tune in. Look at that, right back at you.
Well, let's hope it's reciprocal.
Shove that in your face.
It's a reciprocal relationship. Let's hope that's the case. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it. Guys, I think we need to get this show off the ground.
Let's get it rolling.
The way we start every show. 7 goddamn minutes with a little game of should we or shouldn't we when we put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it. Is real quick, GameCast Market says, is PSVR without Parole a church or a cult? We're the coolest fucking cult there is, man. We're absolutely a cult.
Wait, hold on. Tips are coming in like crazy. Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat. I just thumbs up the screen for Dave being back. Thank you.
Nice.
Red Rover, send Joe Grover right over. That's like, why is that my favorite thing to say? I don't, okay.
Right?
Yeah, it does rhyme. And that's all that really, that's the only stuff that sticks in my head. Thank you very much, Joe Grover. Okay. Little game of should we or shouldn't we? We put 60 seconds on the clock on the counter. The way Jeremy likes it, and it's our chance down here to tell you, the Game Cats up there, or down there in that little corner box right there, whether you should or should not be playing and or watching and or doing the things that we've been playing and or watching and or doing. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
On your mark, get Des. Go.
All right. So on Saturdays, I always do these Saturday Night Live streams and had everybody pick my what I was going to play. Of course, somebody got me with Boxing Apocalypse, unfortunately. But all the rest of the games, they were actually pretty good at choosing. But one in particular was Stardust Odyssey. And I think that's a game that doesn't get enough attention or love because it's actually a pretty cool... Basically, you're in a ship. You're controlling a ship. It is a 2-player game for everybody looking for a co-op game with a buddy. And you're running around. You're looting. You're doing like these looting treasure. You're shooting stuff. You're grabbing. It's got these. The way you shoot is you grab these like different like spells off of your dashboard, and then you like throw them at stuff in front of you, and you fight bosses. And Bryan, did you know that there is an amazing looking giant fish in this game?
Man.
Bryan knew that.
Anyways, I think this game is really good. I think it gets overlooked a lot, and it's a should we from me.
That was great timing. Very, very well done. Fantastic. Yeah, good stuff. I was just making fun of AJ for sounding like a stoner when he talks about the giant fish.
I was like, dude, the fish. So I understand it.
Have you guys seen Giant Fish Head on weed?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game.
Right. Dave, would you like to go next?
I'd like to go last because I still haven't figured out what I'm going to talk about yet.
All right, here I can do that then.
I hope the 60 seconds will give me enough time to. You can go longer if you want.
Nope.
Damn it.
On my mark, get set, go. I'm going to talk real quick about House LLC 3. Now, you guys know I love scary movies. I love all the kinds of scary movies. I really love found footage movies. In House LLC, the first one, I thought was really good. AJ and I talk about Grave Encounters a lot.
Yeah, I need to see this.
And it's like, I rewatched it recently. I was like, okay, it's not as good as Grave Encounters, but it's still a fun found footage movie. The sequel is like not quite as good, but it's still worth watching. And then the third one, which kind of just showed up out of the blue on Amazon. I actually bought it for $10 because I could rent it for $5 or buy it for 10. I was like, well, I'm probably going to watch this multiple times. I don't know if I'm going to watch it multiple times. The first two were really good and worth rewatching. This kept cutting back to the old movies way, way too much, like as reference points almost. It'd be like, we want to make sure that everyone can enjoy this movie, even if you haven't seen the first two. I'm like, just go fuck yourself. Go watch the first two and don't and just make a good movie. And I think on its own, this movie wasn't terribly good. I'm really disappointed. It's unfortunately it shouldn't be.
Oh no, that sucks. Well, at least I got the first two I can go watch. We've also got 3 tips on the way. If Dave, you need more time.
Yeah, Dave, do you need more time? Should we do tips first? David?
Damn it, you win. I couldn't hold it.
Yeah, good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with Dave, so I guess let's take care of these tips real quick here.
It'll sort itself out.
Yeah, so we're going to scroll way, way back here. All right. Fuck you, I'm panicking, I'm chasing my own tail, and also a mouse to go with it. That's K-Panic, the Game Cat and Mouse with the $4.99 donation saying Christmas is May. Or maybe it's in May. Saints and Sinners, Walkers actual gave me scares. Saints and Sinners, Walkers actually gave me scares. And the new Thrustmaster to cruise in GT, 11 VR, all over again. I think this is kind of what everyone's been saying. It's like people who have been away from PlayStation VR for a while, I think, are back on board. It's crazy, man. This has been an amazing month. Lots of stuff to talk about. AJ, you want to do the next tip?
Yeah, they totally bought the fake frozen thing. So yeah, I will go ahead and do. By the way, Tom and Jerry was like one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Just had to throw that in there.
Nice.
Thank you, K-Panic. All right. Fuck you. Fucking Dave's frozen again. That is your Long Shadows with the 50 donation. Says, fuck, she caught me, man. They caught me. Says, sounds like somebody forgot to watch Up this week. Mm-hmm. Should I just give up on saying AJ should and start back on pestering Bryan and about Dread?
Dread has been sitting next to my couch, sealed in cellophane, for 2 years now. Literally 2 years. And so I don't know what's keeping me from watching it. I think what's keeping me from watching it is that the reason people have been telling me how good it is because it's a 3D movie I need to watch in the PSVR headset. And when I watch movies, I just want to like lay on my bed and eat pizza and be fat. Like I don't want to like sweat in a headset, and just like shove food in my mouth.
I will watch Up eventually. I will watch it.
All right.
And I'm a sucker for animals, so it'll probably make me cry, even though I don't like Disney movies or Pixar movies.
For animals?
Everyone got so mad at me last week for that.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a pretty awesome dog in that, right? Is it a dog?
Yeah. I am a dog lover. I'm just an animal lover in general. Like if you take a tragic story about humans, I'm like, but you put like a tragic story about animals, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, for real. And I think the last tip we got to take care of. Oh nope, 2 more tips to take care of. Here we go, Dave. Are you...
Having a rough go.
Are you back, Dave?
Yes, hit it, Dave.
I can't fucking hear anybody.
Hit it.
All right.
Hit it. No, hit the thing, Dave.
Oh, okay. I get the miming. There we go.
There we go.
I can't hear you guys, but I'll be right back.
Right.
Bryan, get this one.
Yeah, that is from... Oh, crap. That was the last one. That is from Creeper Betty, PSVR, with a $10 donation saying, thank you for mentioning Stardust. Lord have mercy. Happy Friday Eve, you sexy game cats.
Lordy. You mighty welcome. Love some Stardust Odyssey.
Also,
really good.
Shout out Rainbow Guy. Love the name. Love the avatar. He said, "What happened to Bryan's beard?" I was just feeling gross, man. If you guys feel like ever just be like, "Oh man, I haven't left the house in forever," and this and yeah, finally I just had to shave and just feel clean for the first time in months. And then, fuck you. This is a great one. I'm doing crazy stuff in Saints and Sinners, and I shouldn't admit it. This is Guts Griffith with a $1.99 donation saying, anyone else collecting zombie heads? Yeah, that was definitely on my to-do list. I started throwing it into my backpack, and then I just fucking...
wow, there's so many tips. Am I catching up on tips? How far behind?
Oh my God. We got 2 more tips, Dave.
Can you hear us?
Oh, there's 2 more. Oh my God. Well, good thing I'm back.
All right.
Oh, that was a short one. Robbie B, the English cat. So posh. £5, euros, whatever the fuck they are. I can never remember. AJ's Pixar forfeit is to sing "You've Got a Friend in Me" live on next week's stream. I love it.
I'll do it right now.
Got a friend in me. Yeah, that Randy Newman voice.
Yeah.
You got a friend in me.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty
we
bad.
should just rename
another one.
We should just rename this the Tip Show and just do Saints and Sinners for next week. We're not doing Saints and Sinners anymore, guys. We're going to talk about that next week.
Talking about the tips. Right. So this one's for Johnny Rypop and Stray Cat, one of our illustrious mods over on the Discord and here in the chat. So don't mess around because he'll put that hammer down on you. He says, for that breathtaking freeze, pure gold, gents. And Joe Grover again, Jesus Christ. $10, and he says, and he has to dress like Woody, scarf and all.
Nice.
I'm okay with that.
I like that too.
And the hat, and you got to say, there's a snake in my boots.
Except you should change it to my pants.
Oh, good old Tom Hanks. Dave, are you ready with your should we? Or do you have
Yes, I figured it out. I finally figured it out. After being frozen for like
minutes into the show.
Here we go. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, we can just move on. But so I wanted to do this one. We were talking to AJ recently about Studio Ghibli movies. This is a Miyazaki movie. This is Princess Mononoke. It's not the normal cover. It's like a special edition.
This is going to be awful. I mean, I'm giving him his 42 seconds. I'm not going to stop it.
But if you guys are into Miyazaki and you haven't seen that one yet, what happened?
Nothing. Keep going. You got like 20 seconds left. Or 10 seconds left.
What are you laughing about?
You
You're
cut
fucking
out
my whole thing up.
No, you cut out for like 15 seconds, and then you just came back as if nothing happened. It was too funny.
God damn it. Okay,
and we have more tips.
Well, anyways, it's Princess Mononoke. Should we? Yes, watch this movie. It's like my favorite. It's my fucking favorite Miyazaki movie. Favorite Studio Ghibli. If you are into that stuff at all, it's awesome. We have a million tips now.
Fucking Christ, you guys are out in full force tonight.
Oh my God, it was. It's like you guys have jobs or something.
Yeah. Okay. This is so unfair.
Your Long Shadows, 20 North Korean kroners, says, I'm expecting balloons. Don't think we have any of that. Amplify the Game Cat. Take my money. Crying laughing face. No, sweaty laughing face?
And we shall.
Sweaty laughing face.
We shall take your money. We appreciate it.
Saints and Sinners is amazing. The scream emoji, which is one of my favorite emojis, good call. It is amazing. Yes, we'll talk about it later. Hugh Guyver, again, Jesus. Oh my God. Guys, we're never going to talk about anything here. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's pizza, money.
Sweet.
$10 from, probably, I assume, from his cousin, Mac Guyver.
And shout out to your cousin, Mac.
All right.
I think that's a record, man.
That is absolutely a record. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show, for supporting the channel. We couldn't do this without you, and you're coming through. Worthy. You're coming through in full support today. But I think we need to make sure.
I think people are happy about Saints and Sinners, man. I think this is possibly the best.
Trying to match Dave's. Sorry. Okay.
I think this is the best, honestly, the best month that PSVR has had in years, if not ever.
Probably
this
ever.
Is this is a time to be excited, guys, and we're gonna go through and break it down one by one. Right. But this is absolutely, most likely, the greatest month in PSVR history. So I understand why everyone's so happy. It is definitely a time to celebrate, and we're just getting started.
To keep things rolling, I want to let everyone know if it looks like we're ignoring tips from this point on. We're not. We're just going to kind of save them all for so that it doesn't keep interrupting the show. So thank you very, very much, everybody. There we go. AJ, let's start.
What's up?
I hear we got some news stories to talk about.
Well, we do have one tip from Whitticus, that one game cat. Have we? I don't think we've done a shout out for that one either. With the $2 donation says we are all still waiting on that new laptop, Dave. Yes, Dave does have a new laptop on the way. So you guys, you guys enjoy it while you can, because it's not going to be too much longer that Dave's laptop is going to be broken like this.
For sure. All right, guys, let's talk about some news here. We need to get the show rolling. Anyone who's new around here is like, these guys don't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're going to knock out some news, and then we're going to get into this week, and then we're going to get into a big, long discussion about our thoughts on Saints and Sinners. And we're going to start with a game called Desolation. I think, right?
I mean, I called it Desolatium because I watched a German YouTuber play it. And that's what he said.
Yeah, Desolatium. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, I mean, I'm using a German pronunciation to see if this is the right way to do this or not. Oh my god, Dave's out in his backyard.
I probably sound like shit. The laptop has taken a real shit today, so I think I'm going to give it a few minutes, and I'll just hang out with you guys in the beautiful outdoors.
You got a nice,
for real.
I haven't been getting enough sun lately.
There's a walker behind you, Dave. Watch out.
All right, I'm back there for the meantime. Yeah.
All right. So, what did you say, Desolatium?
I mean, I don't know, man. That's what I said. Doesn't mean it's right. Definitely doesn't mean it's right.
Desolation?
It sounds good too.
Down here in Georgia, we say Desolation. Anyways, this is a new horror game that has a Kickstarter very soon that will be beginning. And it says, immerse yourself in a distressing psychological thriller where you will have to solve mysterious murders committed between 2019 and 2020. Holy shit, that's like right now.
That's highly specific. Why is it just those years?
It's present day. It should just say present day. But it says, in order to find who hides behind all that madness. But you may find something you were not looking for, since discovering what is happening will take you into a world of darkness, terror, and insanity, into a desolated world. So as I Desolatium, yeah.
Yeah. So as I said on PSVR this week, my concern is that everybody who's played the free-to-play version on Steam says these are 360 photographs. You're basically jumping from photograph to photograph, and you're solving things point and click adventure style. Now, this is the free-to-play version. They're starting a Kickstarter for a reason. They're trying to create a full game. And so the question is, are they going to make a full game? And this 360 photograph thing was just sort of their concept. They wanted to be like, hey, here's a simple version of our grander vision. That's my hope. Because this could be very cool. This is Lovecraftian. It's got an award, PlayStation Talents winner, best something or another. I was like, who's giving this thing an award? But I'm looking forward to see what happens with this. No idea when the Kickstarter launches either, though. Huh?
Lovecraft inspired. You hear that, Reth? Reth, I know you're out there. Listen somewhere. Lovecraft. Moving on. We'll let you guys know when the Kickstarter goes live. But you can just go to desolatium.com if you want more details. All right, so Asphire 1 recently got an update for it's called the Assimilation Update, and it's basically added like some new stealth modes, stealth games, challenges, stuff like that. And to be honest with you, the most stealth experience I had with this game was the challenges. I didn't think there was any stealth at all. Really,
the regular game has no stealth. You don't even need to use stealth for a second.
It's like a poor man's VR GoldenEye, and
hold on, a very poor man's GoldenEye.
Really
GoldenEye comparison is a little. Don't get people thinking it's like GoldenEye.
They
haven't played it.
Yeah, I kind of want to give people the heads up.
Well, I don't say the MGS word. I can't mention Aspire and MGS in the same sentence.
And you shouldn't.
As you should not.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyone I've seen comments where like, oh, this is like Metal Gear Solid in VR, like literal viewers leaving comments. I'm like, it's only because that's what it's advertised as, and they stole the look of Metal Gear Solid 2. Like they stole the look of the enemies, they stole the look, kind of like the idea of the tanker, with the kind of blue color scheme, and that's the only thing I'm getting as far as Metal Gear Solid vibes is this stolen aesthetic. The stealth mechanics are really crappy.
Oh yeah, no, it's not even really workable as a stealth game. I mean, Saints and Sinners is more of a stealth game than this is a fucking stealth game.
I'm still getting at that's true. Saints and Sinners is a better stealth game.
Dude, what is with Polish Paul? Like, who made fun of who first about the round face? Because I saw. Did you make fun of him on Twitter about the round face?
Who's got a round face?
Because he's making fun of your round face right now, and he's saying it looks more round than your outside.
Oh, Paul, get at him. It is, yeah. The camera angles are really bad on my phone. I'm gonna try and actually find like a tripod or something.
This is great, man. I want to see your whole house. I want to take a virtual Davestation tour right now.
Oh well, it's not like ready to show off, but I can show you guys some stuff. Can I flip cameras on this thing where I show you my front camera?
Any confusion? That this update is not out yet. It's on PC and stuff first, just like they do everything, and then coming to PSVR later, as they say. But they are very slow with PSVR updates. So I will say, all that I hope that this update has is better lighting and better sound, because their 3D audio, there is none. It all sounds like it sounds like you're listening to a flat TV, like right in front of you. It's really bad sound design.
Not even a flat TV. Like it sounds, because I mean the volume of footsteps and voices and stuff always sound like they're a few feet away. And even regular flat screen games do that better than this. I've never seen it done so poorly as Asphire 1 has done it.
Right. But if that has that update, I will be very happy. And I do want to give a shout out to Polish Paul, because he said on his Super Show or whatever that I was his favorite YouTuber, and he's just saying that because I blocked him, and he wants me to unblock him.
He's just saying that because legally he can't say without parole. We're in a custody battle right now, and he can't talk about that shit.
No, appreciate that, my dude. All right, so let's move on.
So,
guys.
AJ, just to real quick before we move on, the update is out on PC. It's coming soon to PlayStation VR. It's supposed to be here.
It's coming to PSVR.
Right.
It's coming to PSVR.
So this is going to include a lot of updates that PC has already gotten. So if you're like jealous and you're like, oh man, I want all the stuff that PC gamers have got, it's all coming in the next update.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
All right, so Honor and Duty has announced that it is going to be adding. So there was this time where we were joking about how many features and controllers and stuff Honor and Duty supports. Well, Reggie took that to heart, and he's like, oh, you guys think I'm joking? And he's now adding navigation controller support to Honor and Duty. So, that's going to be interesting. That is the, third game total? Third game that's going to have navigation support. Yep. There's Golem, there's Dream Match Tennis, and now soon there's going to be Honor and Duty, and that's going to happen when it has the crossplay update, because it has crossplay incoming as well.
Yeah, very exciting. I talked to Reggie a little bit over email today, talking to him, seeing what, because you guys know one of the biggest downfalls a navigation controller has is that there's no move technology in it. There's no fucking anything, right? It's just like a analog stick with buttons. You can't do anything with it except for hitting buttons and use the analog stick. And so for me, it kind of ruins something. Like with two move controllers, you dual wield, and you're still able to move around no problem. He did say that this he thinks personally that this is the best way to play with the move controllers. He said it kind of puts it closer to how awesome it feels with the aim. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I got.
I mean, anything to get a navigation controller support is awesome. When we got that in Golem, I was really surprised that they actually were willing to do that and listen to the community, because that's like a really weird old peripheral that they probably hadn't even considered at all. And so when you get that feedback, rarely do people actually do anything with it. But I'm not surprised Reggie did, because his game has like the most input options by far of any VR game that I could think of. So it makes sense. Yeah, might as well have it.
It seems like
that'll be cool.
It seems like an easy thing to do for games that already have some kind of DualShock 4 control scheme, because all you have to do is just throw the analog stick, whatever. And that's why Golem never gave us the two move controller option, the thing that we all really wanted. Move with the left controller and swing your sword with the right controller. That would have been perfect, right? And but there was no analog stick control for that. I mean, there's no move control for that.
Sorry, he said that it's going to go into QA around the 17th, and then hoping that it should be out sometime around the 21st. It looks.
So he actually does. I've got an update on that. It looks like
breaking news.
This is also this is also going to be part of the crossplay with PC. It looks like, and so he said it looks like the crossplay update will go in on the 10th instead of on the 17th. So we might actually get everything a week early. So keep an eye out. We'll keep you updated for sure.
All right. So good luck, Reg. Of course, we got a bunch of cats that love that game as well. So before we get into this insane week that we had, we have a couple things. Number one, there was the top 10 most downloaded games from PlayStation last month that was downloaded. And we've got at number 10, The Room VR, A Dark Matter.
Ooh,
at number 9, Astrobot Rescue Mission. Finally, Astro makes it onto this list. 8, Drunken Bar Fight. 7, Vacation Simulator. 6, Super Hot VR. 5, Arizona Sunshine. 4, Rick and Morty Virtual Reality. 3, Job Simulator. 2, Creed Rise to Glory. And numero uno is La Beat Sabre.
It's kind of crazy, man. Like, it is absolutely crazy how much Drunken Bar Fight holds on, how Virtual Reality holds on, how much Job Sim, Vacation Sim, and I get Beat Saber, I get maybe I don't know half of these games why they're on the list, but half of these didn't even make our top 20 list, and never made it.
It's almost as if people don't know about our channel and don't watch the reviews on our channel. Something like that.
I'd say that's probably pretty likely. Most people don't know we exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so but the problem is that I just feel like this gives people, if this is what people are buying, they're like, I'm getting a PlayStation VR headset and I'm going to go get like this licensed crap, right? Like we have Virtual Reality, and then they go buy, Vacation Sim and Job Sim, which I think are good games, but it just feels like so primitive as far as VR is concerned. And I just don't, it makes me concerned about what people think VR is. They buy the headset, they get a couple games, and it seems like these are the couple games they're getting: Drunken Bar Fight, and as fun as some of these might be for a few minutes, there's just so much more out there, and there's so much better stuff out there that it drives me up the wall when I see this. Because I was like, when I saw The Room on the list today, I was thrilled. I was like, finally, something that really just. I know there's click turning, I know there's no full locomotion, but it just made me happy to see like a truly great game on that list. Astro's great, you guys know that, but whatever, that's not the point. So hopefully the tides are turning. Hopefully next month we'll see Saints and Sinners on the list as well. Come on. Really?
I tried.
Just waiting for you. Yeah, if Saints and Sinners isn't number one on that list next month, I'm just fucking shutting down the channel. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Saints and Sinners should be number one next month.
It better be. It better be.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So finally, tomorrow, Perp Games. This might have been what you were thinking of, Brian. Tomorrow, Perp Games is premiering a video that us three did. About fitness. It's all about VR fitness. So everybody go support Perp Games. It's just Perp Games on YouTube. They, of course, do all the physical versions of PSVR games, and they're doing a lot of great work over there, and we love them and support them. And so whenever you get a chance, just be ready for that tomorrow. If you follow any of us on Twitter, I'm sure you'll see it. And then, should be interesting. We go on a nice little special extra GAMESCAST for tomorrow.
So the interesting thing about this is when Ray first asked us to, talk about fitness games for Perp, our idea was
they got us three.
What's that?
Nothing. I was like, when you're talking about fitness VR games, I don't know how you think about us three, but
no, absolutely not.
It's a thought that counts.
But our original idea was, hey, let's just do a full show and we'll tackle all these questions that Perp asked. We'll talk about, what's our favorite single player, what's our favorite multiplayer, how are we staying fit during the coronavirus. We just make a whole viewer takeover / GAMESCAST show about it, not air it, and then just send it to Perp and do it that way. Instead, because we'd seen the other videos they made about this stuff, where it's like they were just using little snippets of what different people said, we were like, okay, let's just send them each response to each question as an individual video. Next thing I know, Ray is there stitching all the videos back together and making a full episode of Gamescast. And I was like, ooh. I was like, we should have just stuck with our original vision. And that's basically the thing I keep learning about without Parole, is that if you think you know what you should do, just do it. Because ultimately you'll always go, man, I should have just done the thing I wanted to do in the first place. So, all right, we should probably move on, huh?
Yeah. So, guys, like I said earlier, this week in itself has been one of the craziest weeks I've ever seen for PSVR. I don't know of a bigger week we've had between, if you combine the announcements and the releases we have coming this month. This is going to go down in history as possibly the best month in PSVR history. What do you think about that? You agree?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I remember, so I was on Twitter in response to a PlayStation post. I said, mark it on your calendars, May whatever the date that Saints and Sinners came out, is the best day in PlayStation VR history. And Jamie Feltham from Upload VR said, "Well,
what's up, Jamie?"
He goes, what up, Jamie? What up, Upload VR?
What up, Jamie?
Hey, David.
I'm back. I'm fucking back.
Hey, Dave. Jamie responded by saying that the announcement of Resident Evil 7 was the best day in PlayStation VR history. And I was like, you know what? That was a different time. That was a different time when we sort of just expected we were going to constantly get like these like single A, AAA games all the time. We're just like, It was early on. We had no idea the number of droughts we were going to be in for. We had no idea the number of, 2-3 hour games we're going to be playing over the next 3.5 years. So kind of to pull us out of those doldrums, I think Saints and Sinners, that announcement, or the day it dropped unexpectedly, was absolutely, compared to the Resident Evil 7 announcement, I mean, it's just something we needed. And because of the kind of the ecosystem, the environment we were in, it just seemed like a much bigger deal. So for me, yeah, probably the best day in PSVR history.
Yeah, I mean, surprise releases are always great. We haven't gotten too many big name surprise releases, especially ones that are just like, hey, it's out now, or it's out today. You know what I mean? They Beyonce'd us, and I'm glad they did. So, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but this is an incredible game, and I really hope I don't freeze up when we're talking about it, because I am very passionate and excited to talk about this goddamn game. So,
well, first, Dave, we're going to need you now more than ever. We need that.
I got it.
Oh, for 2 reasons.
Yeah, we're going to take care of all these comments. And please, my chat only goes back to Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat. Is that the last one? The first one we missed? Thank you so much for the $5.49 donation. Dave's laptop froze for 18 goddamn minutes.
Probably so.
Then we got Kate Panic. Hit it again.
Just get it.
And that would be K Panic, the game Cat and Mouse, with the $4.99 donation. Says, here's a tip for Dave: pay for expedited shit. Laptop. Bro.
Oh,
Zen.
God.
Nice.
Okay.
Hit it again.
Fuck you. That's Joe Grover, the effing game cat. Is it a bird or is it a plane? No, it's Dave. I want Bryn the most the balls. Okay.
Scrolling down. Hit it again.
Oh, no.
Fuck you, I'm frozen, and he has no idea. That's for Great Tantrum with a $2 donation saying PSVR Tipcast Live. Scrolling down.
I needed him for this next segment. Tipcast Live, yes. And then finally, we've got...
Fuck you, I'm giving money from NOK. We have no idea what that is because we're not that smart.
Your Long Shadows with the 20 donation, who I owe watching up to whatever, says Dave is not at his station. False advertising.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Oh, Cork says Beat Saber video is too much. This is AJ playing Fitbeat on Expert Plus. It's like maybe I should probably change the video. We'll change the video by moving on to our next news story, which is what was one of the things that got announced this month. AJ.
All right, so first we had Mark S. Miller, the executive creator and producer over at ILMX Lab, because he posted in the PlayStation blog and says, today I'm excited to let you know that Vader Immortal a Star Wars VR series is coming to PlayStation VR later this summer, and the series will be available as a complete series, all 3 episodes, and Lightsaber Dojo will be available for purchase together for the first time. This is pretty huge. Now, I know this is more of kind of like a experience kind of thing, but you know how many friends I had buy a PSVR because of that 15-minute X-Wing experience?
I like that. That's cool.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them bought it because of that. I think one because of Gran Turismo, but the rest of them bought it because of that Star Wars thing.
Can we say what a fucking tease that was? It was like, how cool was it to actually get in there and fly around and shoot down shit? And, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, this is the free VR mode that came with Star Wars Battlefront 1. Is it Battlefront? Battlefield. I always get this wrong. Battlefront. Yeah. That's horrible. That's how bad I am at stuff. And then Battlefront 2 came out with nothing, didn't give us anything, and then we actually never got like a full game, even though everything looked awesome. That ship was rendered beautifully. You look behind you, R2's back there, flying around. I mean, dude, it's just Star Wars fans would lose their shit if that became a full game.
Yeah. Dave has actually played this, so I was looking forward to getting his thoughts on it. Oh, could that be? Could that be? You were the chosen one.
Now. Yeah, we're thinking this will be $30 because each of the other episodes were $10. Oh, he's back.
There we go. I set up a tripod out here, so I guess I'm just doing this for now. People kept saying do it outside.
Dave, we're talking about Vader Immortal, man, and I think you're the only one of us 3 that's played it.
Yeah, so it's a cool thing if you're into Star Wars. I would say probably the X-Wing experience is better product overall, even shorter. It's just like more tight lead. There's some lulls in Vader Immortal. There's some parts that aren't that cool over 3 episodes. And for a pretty short game, I mean, it's under 3 hours. It didn't like blow me away narratively, Star Wars kind of perspective. But Lightsaber Dojo really got me. And I'm really excited to try that out with actual move controllers, with obviously. So with the Quest, it's just like Beat Saber, where when you're playing Beat Saber as opposed to the moves, you just don't feel right on it. So you're not gripping saber. Guys.
Dave, you're real quiet. Can you maybe bring closer to the mic?
But I'll have to be. The mic is my phone, and I have to put my face in.
That's okay. We don't mind. You're beautiful. You don't get rid of.
I can shout. Maybe I'll just shout. Sorry. But yeah, basically, it's the Lightsaber Dojo is really cool. The move support is good, I think, but it should be good. Feel right to be using lightsabers, and I think people should be moderately excited, but don't expect like the biggest thing in it. It's cool, but it's not Saints and Sinners by any.
3 hours.
That is a great point. I like how, and they did say that they're going to be adding content to it as well, like later on. I think they're going to continue doing this.
The microphone in it?
Yeah, it does. You sound much better.
Oh, cool. Okay, my headphones weren't actually plugged all the way in, so this is good.
Nice.
Oh,
okay. Sit back and relax now.
Dave, did you say that for 3 hours? That's all 3 episodes combined, or 3 hours total?
I would say. I mean, they're each about 45 minutes to an hour. There's not really any options. You just play exactly what they want you to play in a very linear way. There's not a whole lot of side stuff or unlocks or anything like that. It's really just a matter of you play through their little. It's like a theme park ride. It's like a long theme park ride is how I would describe it. But the Lightsaber Dojo is actually really fun because when you get in there and just play with the lightsaber mechanics, you can unlock a bunch of different stuff, and you have all these cool lightsabers that, like, say you want, Darth Vader's like red lightsaber, you can unlock that. And if you're a nerd about Star Wars, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Just like looking at the designs and holding them in your hand, and how they sound and look different is pretty fun. But yeah, the Lightsaber Dojo should be awesome. The game itself, it's all right. I mean, I'm excited it's coming. So yeah.
Yeah, I love how you point out that the move controllers feel like a lightsaber. I think that is probably one of the things I'm most excited about because it does. That's one of the reasons I played Beat Saber the first time was on a Rift, and I played it even though the tracking is a little bit better. I played and the resolution, but I played it with the move controllers, and it's like you're holding a lightsaber, and it just feels great, man. It really helps that immersion, that feeling of being like a badass and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for this. I know all my friends are going to buy this game and be all over it.
And it's $10 per episode on Oculus, right?
So I got to assume it's $30 for the whole thing. Maybe 25 if we're lucky, but 30 sounds about like what they'll price it at.
Yeah, they know they can get it.
I'm curious about is when it came out episodically on Quest, there was this thing where like you get different stuff in the lightsaber dojo with each chapter that you bought. So like chapter 1 would have a certain set of stages. Chapter 2 had a different set of things to do in the lightsaber dojo that like upped the ante a little bit or changed the mechanics. And so I'm curious how they put that all into one package together, you know? Because part of the hype there was, oh, when's the next episode coming out? You know what I mean? Like a TV show you get hooked on. So I don't know if it'll hit the same way all in one package, to be honest.
Interesting. All right, I think we got a couple tips to take care of before we move on to the next story.
Oh, I forgot to... Oh, I brought Tree Guy. I can't see the comments, but I can hit the guy.
Hit it up.
You get this one, I'll get the next one.
All right, it's Kate Panic, the Game Cat and Mouse Rare with the $2 donation saying, does Vader have a better laptop than Dave? I'd say
of course he does.
I would hope so. Although I haven't seen any laptops in Star Wars.
I mean, Vader just...
They don't seem to have laptops. They have like consoles with a bunch of flashy buttons on them.
They're just playing
Nobody's
Pong.
like sitting on a laptop.
They're just playing the original Pong is all.
I hope they have the thing like they have an upload where everything's just like your phone, everything's just your hand. Hey.
Hit me one more time, Dave. That is Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat, with the $10 donation. Says AJ's shirt is the shit. That is all. Carry on. Thank you, man. I love this shirt. I just got this in. This is a pixel ripped 1989 shirt. And I got to say, if you go to threadless.com, I used to buy shirts from them anyways. But Pixel Ripped has a great selection of shirts like 1995. Go check out the Pixel Ripped shirts on Threadless. I like collecting a lot of PSVR stuff because it's so like rare and unique.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Jupiter and Mars shirt. And I
have a Jupiter
like the only
Mars
guy who has one, except for the
I'm definitely the only person that I have seen that has a Jupiter Mars shirt. But yeah, these are really good. This is a comfortable shirt. But I just love Pixel Ripped, and yeah, it's a good one. Good, they've got good stuff.
All right, Vader Immortal coming this summer. Craziness for something we thought was going to remain an Oculus exclusive,
right?
And I know a lot of people in the comments. I know Jay Dow was saying in Discord and in the comments. One of the things he kept saying was maybe this gives us hope for other Oculus exclusives that there may be just timed exclusives, like.
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, people were talking about like Medal of Honor and stuff like that being an Oculus exclusive. I think that could easily come to PS5 after 6 months, a year, something like that.
Yeah,
you know. If they're already proving that they're willing to do it with something as big as Star Wars, like, I think we got a good chance that we get some ports.
Yeah. That's surprisingly, this is going to sell a lot of headsets probably.
Yeah. All right. So what else?
All right.
What else we got announcements for?
So guys, there's a little game that came out this week. I don't know if you heard, but Saints and Sinners came to PSVR this week. 2 days ago, they stealth launched it in North America and Europe and Australia. And we've also been told that some regions like Poland, I think, I don't know, Sweden, something like that, are starting to get it now. They've said that the regions that haven't been launched yet, they're getting that fixed. But that's just because things are complicated and whatnot. But guys, Saints and Sinners is finally here. We're going to talk about it. So you better sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because
strap in.
Holy shit, is it good.
Saints and Sinners.
All right. So
why don't you take it away, Brian?
Okay. So I had the next news story on the list. I'm setting this shit up. I didn't realize we were jumping into this. Yeah, guys, it came out. It's awesome.
It's out.
I'm done.
Good night, everybody.
Right. We're gonna keep it real light. No. Man, all right. So The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners, man. Like, obviously this was on PC. Everyone was like talking about how great it was. We're like, cool. They announced it for PlayStation VR. Release dates kind of changed a little bit here and there. And then the next thing we knew, we were under embargo, being like, hey, the game's coming in a few days. Don't tell anyone. But we also didn't have access to the game. So we actually get access to the game the same day you guys did. And I've been playing it non-stop since Tuesday. I mean, that's pretty much... There was no content on the channel yesterday at all. And I finally beat the game this morning. I tried to get it done last night, but I got to the last mission. I'm so tired. And I finally was just like, you know what? I'm gonna save the rest of it for today. And I beat it today. Did some of the endgame stuff. Dude, what do we think of this thing?
It's so goddamn good. It immediately, within the hour I played of it, the very first hour. Sorry, Carlos, I'm covered in cat hair now. I put it in my top 3 like almost immediately. There's something about it that just mechanically you can feel the level of quality. You can feel the depth of the gameplay almost from the start, where it's like, oh, Carlos, don't knock over the fucking. He's knocking over. He's rubbing on the tripod. Okay. So yeah, no, there's just something unquestionably very good about this game that we haven't seen in exactly this way, because it's a full-on, 12 to 15 hour game, I think, and there's a lot that makes you want to go back and replay it. Like 4 hours in, I was already thinking, I made a decision here that I want to go back and change, or like I want to see what happens if I do this, or using the newfound knowledge that I have, I could make this run a lot better. So I think the replayability is huge. There's a lot of stuff to discover, like secret recipes and stuff. And I haven't even unlocked half of the crafting stuff you can do, you know what I mean? And I'm almost at the end of the game too. So that kind of goes to show you that there's a lot of depth. If you want to take your time and make this a 20-hour game, you can totally do that. It's up to you. And it's just so satisfying. Like the feeling of the melee combat, the physics-based melee combat, is I think the best we've seen on PlayStation VR, like by a mile. It's way better than, Golem would be the closest one to like feeling the weight of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you have to pay attention to like where you grip the axe, or like where you grip the two-handed weapons and stuff, is really important and awesome. That you can feel like, oh, my physics are off because I'm not hitting him right because I'm holding it like a weird way that you wouldn't hold an axe in real life. So it really rewards you, like being thoughtful about how you're using each weapon and figuring out the best way to take stuff on. And it's just so satisfying. It's endlessly satisfying. I want to play it all day. I've been thinking about it when I'm not playing it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to go back in and do this. It's all encompassing. It's consumed me for this week because it's so fucking good. And I think everybody should buy it. But real quick, I want to say before we get too deep in it, the store will try to get you to buy the tourist edition for $10 extra. Don't do that. It takes a little bit of digging, but you can find the standard edition in the store if you search around a little bit. And that's $10 less, and all the upgrades for the tourist edition are just like cosmetic stuff for the most part. So I don't think it's really worth it, but that's what I gotta say. I love this fucking game.
AJ, just before you get your first impressions out there, Dave, why don't you hit that for me real quick, and we can give a shout out.
Fuck you! My dream world!
That's where you got cold yogurt with the $1.99 donation saying, as far as Saints and Sinners goes, you can't smoke and fight in Resident Evil 7. Smoke and fight in RE7. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners wins all. You can't smoke. And all right, hit it again. Uh-oh, we can't hear AJ. We can hear you, Dave, but we can't hear AJ now.
AJ's on mute. I can see his little thing. He's on mute.
Real quick,
AJ, you muted yourself
Panic.
In this software.
Oh, shit. How long have I been muted? Hold on. I had to say that, first of all. It's you got cold yogurt, Brian? And he says you can't smoke and fight in Resi 7. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners wins all. What he means by that, you can smoke in The Walking Dead. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You find cigarettes everywhere. You break down a bunch of stuff into materials, but you can take a pack of cigarettes and you can literally like flip it up to your mouth. So it was funny because you can actually shoot the cigarette to light it. And somebody posted
I didn't
later.
know that. That's cool.
Yeah, somebody posted later that they were like, "Oh my God, you can shoot yourself in The Walking Dead, and you can accidentally shoot yourself and kill yourself." They're like, "This is amazing," and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm so glad I didn't blow my fucking head off."
Seriously.
Honestly, I had thought about lighting a cigarette with a gun, and then I thought I could probably shoot myself in the head on accident here, so I won't do that.
I was really glad I didn't do that.
I still haven't lit one. I found a bunch of lighters and a bunch of cigarettes, but I never put the two.
I tried to light the candles. I tried to light the candles in my bus, and I couldn't do it. I was like,
no luck.
Why can't I light candles? Dude, hit it one more time.
Does the lighter have any other use than lighting cigarettes? Because it says it lights stuff on fire, but I don't know like what else.
Yeah, just
scrap it for a bomb or something. I don't know. Who's that? Could you hear that?
That is K-Panic the cat. That is Game Cat. Oh fuck! I can't speak anymore. K-Panic the Game Cat and Mouse with the $4.99 donation saying, "Isn't that the number porn behind the curtain of old video stores? He rubbing on my tripod. Isn't that the number porn?
Rubbing on my tripod.
The number. I'm so. I understand.
I think he's saying is that the number one porn behind the curtain in old video stores? He's rubbing on my tripod.
There we go. Totally got it.
Bryan, you would know better than I do.
Dude, I've never done that. I watch a lot of porn. Never been to a video store for it.
So
it seems kind of antiquated. It should cost like $30 for a DVD too. It's ridiculous.
Crazy. AJ, first impressions.
You can continue.
First impressions. First of all, the game looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. It controls well. Notice I don't think there's any teleport in this game. It's move supported only, so it doesn't use DualShock 4. But you know how we praised a lot of like Shadow Legend for being this like very tactile, being like all this like or interactive, like how much stuff you could interact with in the game. This is like that on steroids because it's actually a full game. This is more than this is not just an experience. This is basically the kind of game that everybody has been clamoring for so long with VR when it comes to VR games. A full-length game, it takes anywhere from 12 to 20 hours. It's going to take me a long time because I just enjoy roaming out into the streets every single day, killing zombies, getting creative and doing different things, looting stuff, coming back, breaking it down, building up my different unlocks and stuff. But everything was done so well. This game was made by people that just get VR. Like the movement system is really awesome. There's smooth movement. There is snap turning, but it's optional. And yeah, the game loop is pretty simple. You go out into town, you collect stuff, you come back, you upgrade it at your station. There's a story that you follow. There's side missions that you can do that are pretty cool. And it's so addicting and so much fun. And there's just so many things to interact with and discover. There's a lot of secrets in this game as well, which I really, really love. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't know how many people agree with me on this, but for me personally, this is very much like a Last of Us in VR for me. I loved The Last of Us, and I just kept having this feeling while playing this game. I'm like, there are so many things that I remember seeing about The Last of Us that I'm seeing in this game when it comes to like crafting. There's weapon crafting. And I would dare to say that I think there's even a slightly deeper crafting mechanic in this. In The Last of Us, you could make like a nail bomb and a couple things. And like this, you have passive upgrades, you have like physical upgrades, you have weapon upgrades, you have like health upgrades, like all this stuff. There's passive, there's weapons, all sorts of stuff. So I actually think that the crafting system is slightly deeper than the original Last of Us.
It's a lot deeper, definitely.
But yeah, it's just, this game is absolutely amazing. I love the art style. It's this 50% like comic book version of Walking Dead, and 50% like it feels realistic. Like it's supposed to be kind of cartoony, kind of comic booky, but it feels really realistic. It looks very, very real. And by the way, it looks beautiful.
It looks real, but I think part of what you're saying is it feels real, and I think so much of that is the mechanics and the physics and stuff, because the way that you interact with other things in the world and killing zombies and stuff is just so tactile, and it feels real. You know, you're grasping them, you're shoving this thing in, and it might not go all the way, and you got to give it a little push. And it's very I don't know, I can't think of a game that's this visceral as far as the interactions go.
So
I think that goes a long way to making it feel like you're there.
I need to clarify real here. Just things about the world and stuff remind me of Last of Us, not the story. But the story is really good in this. There's lots of different characters that to interact with and stuff, but yeah, okay.
Well, it's got that similar concept, I think, that a lot of zombie franchises do, but like Walking Dead especially does very much. It's about the people as much as it is about the zombie. And I think that's similar to Last of Us as well. You know, there are zombies everywhere, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's about the people. And that's what you relate to. And they really nailed that. I think they do a great job of that. Sorry if it's sounding weird. It's breezy here.
I will say, I mean, I don't want to dive into like all the negatives and be like, oh, let's complain about this game. But I think it's fair to talk about some of the things that didn't do quite as well. And I think that the story is maybe not this game's strong point. I think with any zombie game, any post-apocalyptic game, there's always here's a couple factions, here's a couple things that are happening, and then it's like, oh, do you want to choose sides? And like that's kind of the extent of the whole thing. And I will say that the voice acting, and it's not the voice acting is fine for the most part. I will say it's not quite.
I think it's some of the best voice acting we have on PlayStation VR, to be 100% honest.
Okay. I mean, I felt
certainly better than Honor and Duty D-Day, I gotta say.
I mean, everything is better than D-Day.
I'm just fucking with you.
But I thought the voice acting was sort of all over the place, to be honest. I thought that some of it was awesome, and some of it was like, all right, you know. And the fact that it goes on for so long, I feel like every single character that talks to you talks about twice as long as they have to. Any memo you pick up, it just goes on and on and on and on. And then
well,
if you
half
talk,
the memos are the same damn memo you've already seen 20 times. It's either a thing that says May sucks, or it's the lady from the tower saying, "Hey, we're cool."
Right.
And that's it.
And then then the game doesn't know how to pick one or the other. It's like if you enter a conversation with somebody while that's being read to you. You just have to wait out with that memo being read, because otherwise it'll just talk over the other person talking.
I've stopped picking those up because I know they're going to be the same thing I've already heard before.
Yeah, like you said, there's only a few, but I picked one up and it was reading it, and then I talked to this guy who wanted me to send a note to his boyfriend, and I was like, I can't hear you, man. One second,
dude. Here's the thing. One thing that you should keep an eye on is the timer. You guys, if you're playing this, look at your watch, see how much time is left for the bell. It's like a pie chart that's constantly dwindling, and as it gets lower, you'll hear some dings and stuff. But any mission you're currently in the process of doing will end when that timer goes off, and you sometimes can't come back to it. Like that guy with the letter you were talking about with his boyfriend. I was about to go back to him and finish the mission, and then the bell rang, and he ran off, and every time I saw him afterwards, they were all zombies. They had just died.
Man, I gotta say
too, get back and do that mission. So you got to be really thoughtful about how you do each run when you go out there, which is cool. I like that tactical kind of like, what am I here for? I need to get out in this amount of time. That sort of gameplay thing.
Right. So when you descend upon a town, there's like a whole bunch of different towns you can go to. It's pretty cool how like you have a timer that you have to go around, accomplish what you want to accomplish, and then you have to get out of there before this bell rings. And when the church bells ring, it attracts like a whole bunch of zombies, and this horrifying music comes up. It's almost like the tornado from the Solus Project, and you just get swarmed. And I swear to God, it was during this moment where I literally was like in this. Like it felt like I was fighting for my life. It was insane. It was a feeling that I just haven't experienced in a long time with a game. I think since like Solus Project, where I felt like I was actually like fighting for my life. And I made it out of there with literally like a sliver of health left. And they do have those mechanics where you have like endurance and health, and it goes down, and you consume certain resources, and it kind of affects like the way they go up and down. But there are ways around it too. There's just so many things to discover in this game that can make what something may seem kind of hard at first. There is kind of like an easier way, a more strategic way to do something. And I really, really love that. And oh man, yeah.
I mean, what you said there about the the survival aspect of feeling like you're on your last leg and you almost didn't make it out of there, that happened to me constantly throughout the game. And it does a really good job of keeping that tension up, where it's like, okay, I was on a hard mission, the bell rang, I died. I have to go back and get my backpack because everything I looted is in there. And so I'm here with one shiv trying to brave this, massive zombies to get my backpack and get the fuck out of there. Those moments are so tense and engaging. And I really, Solace Project had some of that with the survival stuff, but this is really next level. That I haven't played a game like this in VR, and it's just so satisfying. Like you said, the depth of the mechanics with the survival system is a lot more than I expected, and it's hard to actually stay powerful and stay healthy and feel like you're well stocked on ammo and all this stuff, because it's just hard. It's tough out there. You know what I mean? And the game really hammers that home in an effective way, I think.
Yeah, there's one of the later missions you're exploring this gymnasium, and it felt, for the first time I think in the game, I felt like I was doing something different than like some go out and pick this thing up and bring it back, and it was going on and on and on and on, and it was taking me forever to find all the things that I was looking for, and so without saying what I was doing, I knew the time was ticking away. And it was stressing me out. I was like, come on, not now. Where is this? I'm following a path. And I was like, I need to get this done. And the bells rang. And I was like, I am so fucked right now. I'm so far from like any exit marker, like any place on the map where I can get out of here. If you guys haven't played this, it's like a little raft. And like only like 2 sections of each map, right? There's only 2 ways out of each map, extraction points.
It depends on the map.
Some of them, some of them have more.
Okay.
If you pull out, so I want to say real quick, your map and your little like booklet that you have is super cool, super useful. You can pull out a little map from your chest, and it shows you with an arrow where you are, where all the street names are, where the extraction points are, and all that stuff. And it's just really well done. But yeah, like you said, I mean, that mission for me particularly, I failed twice because the bell rang and I hadn't found the stuff I was looking for. And every day, we should mention this, I don't know if it's come up yet, but every day it gets harder. So if you go out there and you do a scouting mission just to get resources and stuff, and you're not actually doing the story, when you come back to the story, it'll be harder.
And sleep.
Every single day, there's more
every
zombies
new
and
day.
less resources. Every new day, more zombies, less resources.
Right.
And that's a cool mechanic because it keeps you thinking about, is it worth it for me to go out and do this thing if it means that everything will get more difficult, if I waste a day on this or spend a day on this.
Yeah.
It's a really cool balancing act, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of balancing acts in this game. And, I think that's one thing I love about it. But, we were talking about stealth in VR and how cool stealth is. I'm also a big fan of survival games. That's why I think, we also mentioned Souls Project. But there was this, just speaking of moments and experiences and the depth that this game has, more on that. There was this moment where I'm walking, I went into a building, a house, I gathered all the materials, and it's time to go. It's time to go back to my little safe haven where I can dispense your resources and get materials to be able to craft and upgrade. And I'm walking out the door, and there's like 5 zombies. A lot of these houses at the front have like a gate. And I'm walking out the door, and there's you can pick up, so you can actually pick up bottles, pick up whatever you find, and you can toss it, and you can use that as a distraction for zombies. So, they'll hear a noise and go over there. Well, I'm walking out, I throw the thing, and like 5 zombies turn and look the other way, and I start creeping through the gate, and my character starts going, and I just freeze. And they all just slowly turn around and look at me. And I was like, shit. And they all just start chasing me. And so I had to bolt to the shift and get out of there last second. But that's part of the reason why it's important to keep your health up. You can eat food out in the city, but it's rotten. So it'll lower your max health. The bandages heal your actual health. That's why. And then the medicine, as each day goes on and on, the medicine becomes less and less. So you have to. That's what I was talking about. Or when you mentioned the balancing act, that's the whole thing. But
I mean, for me, I had 2 or 3 days where every run I went out on, I was sick and I couldn't find medicine, and so I was coughing everywhere. And letting humans know I was there, letting zombies know I was there. And it made it really tough, especially because when you're sick, you're like, your max health is half of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you really got to be careful about what you're doing. And after like 3 or 4 days of scrounging, I found finally 2 bottles of medicine, and I was so goddamn excited. Like that tension and build up and release of, I don't have what I need. I still don't have what I need. Oh my God, I finally got what I need. That is a really cool loop and a really cool feeling.
Dude, I was sick for the entire game. I was sick. I got sick real early on. I was coughing for literally the entire game. And I was like, man, I was looking everywhere for medicine. I was finding very, very little. I'd get sick again, even after taking the medicine. And it wasn't until I've got my health station and my gear station fully upgraded now. And it wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
wow,
actually.
I'm way behind on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't like once. It happens pretty quickly near the end, especially like when you're like, okay, I just need these few extra ingredients to make this happen. But now that I can craft, like there are bandages that'll, so there's herbal medicine that'll cure sickness, and then there's bandages that heal everything, and it's.
I really need that.
Yeah,
I need that
it changes everything. Suddenly I'm like not coughing anymore. Suddenly and I've got my health maxed out. I've got my stamina maxed out. But the weird thing is that I guess I was really focused on just like the story mission to get through the game, when I really should have taken a lot of extra time to just go out and see what I could find and try to upgrade those stations during the game, to make some of the game a little bit easier.
Well,
that's literally what I've been doing the whole time.
Yeah, so AJ's been doing that too, and I'm not surprised his stuff is maxed out.
I usually follow stories, but I'm having so much fun just going out and looting the cities. I can't stop.
Yeah, and I want to throw out there too, one really cool mechanic that I like is there's a radio station that you can tune into every day that gives you updates on certain areas. It's like halfway through the game, maybe a third of the way through the game, you unlock it. And when you're on your map deciding where to go, it'll tell you like, oh, there's a food stash here for the next 3 days, or there's a weapon cache here. And so you can kind of identify, what you need and how you're going to plan your resource runs. But then later on, it's like, oh, there's like a death squad here. Or there's 2 death squads here who are going to be fighting each other. And so you really have to think about like where you go and what's there when you get there. So it's not just like every level is the same every time you go back. One of the things they say in a loading screen a lot is that New Orleans changes every day and you might not see the same thing twice. And that's true because, once that system comes in, every area is changing every day. What you might find there, who's going to be there when you get there, that sort of stuff. And so it's a really cool system that they have. I really like it.
Guys, we have a couple tips. We have about 5 tips, I think.
Oh my God! All right.
That we got. All right. So for the first one, I don't know if we got this from Amplify the Game Cat Meow with the $1.99 donation. Says this game's art style. Sorry, reminds me of the Telltale's Walking Dead.
It's a little bit like that.
The characters mostly, I think, because the characters
do.
Because you could run around this world and like, although it has like sort of a cell shaded kind of look to it, there's so much more detail than like a typical Telltale Walking Dead game until you run into another character and you're like, oh yeah, no, very Telltale like.
Yeah, but I actually totally agree. The world itself looks very good.
One thing I don't think we've touched on is like the zombie killing is really satisfying. It's so goddamn satisfying, way more than any other zombie killing game we have. But killing people feels so bad. Like after a while, you get used to it. But at first, like the first time you stab a person in the face, you're like, "Oh, that was not. I didn't like that. Yeah. I didn't like that at all."
There are a lot of the particle effects. Yeah,
I know. And you're like, "That's a real human that I just shot."
I mean, when you stab somebody or stab a zombie or whatever, the knife goes into wherever you poke that knife. It does not discriminate.
Slam
it wherever it is, it will go into that part of the body, even if it's in the body, which obviously doesn't kill a zombie. And the weapons do break, so you do want to try and get them in the head the first time. But yeah, wherever you hit them or chop them or whatever, then that's part of the reason why when I shot somebody in the face and it was just like red, just red splatter. And I was just like, man, oof. Yeah. Like, and you can do much more than that when it comes to like the physics, how you can chop stuff. Hit me again, Dave, real quick.
I got you.
That is from Tempest Moriendi with the $2 donation. Says, I love this game. It's on my top 5. It's already on my top 5. What's going to have to happen? We have 3 months till the next top 25. I'm gonna need to figure out where it is on my top 5.
Top 3, baby.
Yeah,
top 3 for me too. But I will tell you right now that I know after beating this game and spending some time in the survival endgame, it's still for me so far not beating Resident Evil 7.
Not beating Resident Evil 7.
I think it's got a different kind of. So Resident Evil 7 is more horror, like legitimately straight up horror. This is like a survival. It's like tense. You know what I mean? You're always on the edge of life or death. So it is survival in a way, but it's not exactly survival horror because once you get going, individual zombies are totally not a threat. You know, you just walk up to them and go, no problem.
Yeah.
And you start to get to a point where you can deal with threats pretty well once you get better weapons and once you realize how to approach these things. But you're constantly strapped for resources and health and stamina. And so to do these things that sorry, there's like fucking motorcycles.
Oh, we can hear. Absolutely.
Yeah, I figured. I don't know how much you can hear, but yeah, there's a lot of sound. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just a different kind of thing, but I think because it's built for VR from the ground up, it was more moment to moment satisfying to play for me, just because everything is interactable. You know, you've got that thing where, you know, aiming with your head is very easy. You always kind of hit where you're pointing. When you have a gun and you're losing stamina and it's all wobbly and stuff and you're trying to take care of these guys, it becomes more hectic because you actually physically have to do the things you're supposed to do. And I think that adds a level of immersion to me that beats out Resident Evil 7 by a hair. And I think it's probably a longer game. I don't know about more replayable because there's a ton of stuff to unlock in Resident Evil 7, obviously.
Well,
and you've played it a million times, but this one I want to keep playing it like all the time.
Yeah, that's why this is going to be good that's why it's going to be good to have 3 months to sort of let this thing simmer and kind of chill and be like, all right, you know, we've played it. How much are we going back to it? Are we spending a ton of time in the end game? Have we started a new game? Are we replaying it? Making there are some slightly different decisions to make. It doesn't seem like anything is super dramatic.
Yeah, I think most of the decisions until the very end game don't matter too much. Yeah. And really at that point, it's just about which faction is going to support you in like the final showdown. Really, there's 2 factions. You got to choose one.
Hit me again, Dave.
Oh, gotcha.
And Dave, you'll have an answer for this one. Joe Grover, the effing game cat with the $5 donation, says that horrifying music came on, and I was like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. He says, wish you could, but Dave, and you got an answer for this. He says, wish you could play a mode with a timer turned off. Want to just walk around and survive.
Okay, well, one of the things I mentioned earlier is that if you tune into radio station 47, once you unlock it in the game, it'll tell you certain areas that don't have the bell turned on. So it'll be like 3 days in one certain area where it'll just be turned off. So you can loop to your heart's content, stay there as long as you want. It typically doesn't overlap with like a mission, but if you're on a resource run, keep an eye out for that because there'll be certain sections that just don't have the bell at all. And you can just, like I said, just kind of chill.
Yeah, time only became an issue for me twice, I think. Like I usually my backpack is full long before I've got everything that I want, and I'm like, you know what, it's time to get out of here. And I always leave with a full backpack, and only
of course,
twice I
so when you
like, I gotta race back, hurry up, the bells are ringing.
So when you look at the items closely, it shows you what they break down into when you break them down. So that's one of the things. Like I said, I've barely been able to get through. I mean, you said I was about halfway through the story, but I mean, all things considering I've been playing it for like almost 10 hours. And I've like barely been following the story, and I'm actually still halfway through. I'm gonna end up taking about 20 hours to beat this most likely. But you know, when you're looking at that, you know, if you go around the city, there's so many different things. Like especially once you get into the crafting, you're like, well, I need this much more of this. Well, I need this much more of this. So when you're doing your inventory management stuff, that's how I get kind of lost with time is like I'm going through my backpack, I'm taking stuff out, I'm putting new stuff in. There's some things that give me more materials of what I'm trying to create.
Sure.
So I tend to lose a lot of time. And then, yeah, I mean, it's gotten to me a few times and there's just that feeling, you know, you're constantly, once you start doing that a whole bunch, you're constantly going around the city and once you're used to it, you just are constantly looking at your watch, and you're just like, okay, I'm good, and you'll hear that beep, and you're like, okay, I'm halfway, and then you hear the beep again, you're like, okay, it's I got a quarter of time left, I need to go. Like, I need to start wrapping this up soon. And then you build that sense of urgency, that sense of tension, and start working your way back. And I love that feeling, especially when there's a lot going on and your time is running out. That's where things just get really intense. I got this next tip. Hit me, Dave. That is Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the 2 donations, says you can also use their guts to smear over yourself.
Yes, you can.
This is a really cool thing that you can do. There's some zombies walking around with like an exposed stomach already. You'll see they'll have an exposed stomach. So you can actually get these guys, brain them, and when they're down on the ground, you can use any sharp object, and you can dig around in their guts that's exposed, and it'll pop up like some zombie guts. Now, you can actually put these in your backpack to save for later, but what happens essentially is if you take these guts and you smear them all, it says to smear it all over yourself, so you're rubbing your arms, rubbing your face, and then everything turns red, and you have this timer to where, it's basically like zombie camo, and it lets you kind of walk among them. But you can't run. If you run, it'll fall off. And I thought that was a nice, a pretty cool mechanic in there as well.
Did you guys find that zombies
where it's really handy? Oh, go ahead.
Did you find that some zombies were onto you anyway? That you couldn't just like walk past them? Because I'd rub the guts all over me, and I think every single time I did it, I'd get by a couple of them, and then one of them would just be like, huh? And I'd be like, oh fuck, here we go.
So
come after me.
Before it wears off all the way, there's a brief period of time where they start to notice you, while you still have the icon up on your screen, showing that you're covered.
Oh.
So for me, like, I was going for a while, and then I got to a certain point where I was like, is this wearing off? How long does this thing last? And then as soon as I thought that, guys started going, even though I still had a little bit of it left. So I think it wears off a little bit at the end. That might have been what happened.
That makes a lot of sense, and I will say that I was not the biggest fan of the stamina / health system. I was telling AJ on the phone, we were talking about like how it all works, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I would have preferred 4 different meters to have to manage. That one is like,
Jesus Christ.
One is physical health, and one is one is sickness, and one is stamina, and one is actual cuts on your body. Like, I would have dealt with those 4 rather than having 2 bars that like constantly fucked with each other. And I was like, this doesn't, for me, that didn't work so well. And after a certain point, I said, you know what? I don't even like these bars being on the screen. I turned the HUD off, and so that's why I didn't even see the that meter for the zombie guts. Yeah. That's why I missed that entirely.
Okay.
We got one more donation.
All right.
And that is Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat. Now we are trying to avoid. We want you guys to discover a bunch of stuff on yourself by yourself.
Yeah, no story spoilers or anything.
No story spoilers, and we're trying to really keep just anything spoilers really light. We're trying to avoid pretty much all spoilers. But somebody did say Joe Grover with the $5 donation says somebody mentioned collecting zombie heads. You guys done that yet? I have not. I've done the first step you need to do to collect a zombie head, but I haven't done the rest of it yet. But I have picked up some skulls, and I don't want to spoil too much of this, but
it's not a spoiler. I mean, if you have an axe or
it's
something,
not
you can
really.
cut a zombie's head off.
Yeah,
and it's
pretty
still
much
moving, and its mouth moves and its eyes move.
I took it and I jiggled it, and the tongue is shaking and stuff.
Yeah, and you have a rack in your bus, which is like your HQ kind of, where you can store weapons you're not using and stuff like that. But you can also mount up zombie heads. So I think you can have up to 3, or maybe you can have more. And they just sit on your wall, and they're being zombies or whatever. It's pretty cool. One thing I will say, we talked about the bell a little bit earlier, and I think we should mention, just as a caveat to people out there, something to keep an eye out for. There is one bug that we ran across with save files, and if you're on the skiff trying to leave an area when the bells are ringing, there is a chance, I've heard from people, that your save file will get corrupted or lost. So just don't do that until they patch it. If the bell's going off, wait a minute before you get on the skiff, or just try to get there before it goes off. Because for right now, it is an issue that I've heard from multiple people. But I'm sure they'll patch it soon.
Yeah, there are a couple. I mean, so this game is absolutely amazing. We absolutely love this game. There are a couple little small gripes about it. Number one, which this one does not bother me, but a lot of people are mentioning they don't like how long the loading times are. Doesn't really bother me personally, but I get it, and I think that's just something limited to the hardware. You know, PS5 might be able to take care of that. That's the whole
PS5
thing about switching.
Up in like no time.
Yeah. Another thing is like there is a little bit of texture pop in and like some muddy textures, but overall everything looks fantastic. But I can see in some places when you're loading this giant world, or these giant cities, I should say, with so much going on, I think it actually handles it admirably.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it couldn't have been any better. And with like the way it performs and stuff.
It's okay to complain about it. It's okay to complain about it as long as we don't say, that it's like game breaking or that it, ruins the game somehow. It's okay to say, hey, these load screens are fucking really long, and they become very noticeable. They become they become almost an issue when you're playing a mission over and over and over and over again. I did, because I was so stubborn with this game. I refused to like just go and upgrade and just go on some runs where all I was doing was collecting stuff to upgrade different workstations. I was just sticking with story missions. And so because I was so stubborn, I ended up doing this. There was one mission in particular that I think it took me 2.5 hours to beat. And it was just so dumb of me to not just be like, you know what, this isn't working out. I'm going to head back and I'm going to upgrade some stuff and make it work. And so I saw that loading screen so many times.
Right.
But that's the only time that I think it becomes an issue is if you're stubborn and you just have to restart a mission over and over again, because you play for a couple minutes and then you'll see a loading screen that's like 60 seconds long. It can be pretty long.
Yeah, I mean the flip side of that, of course, is that if you don't do what you're talking about, you can stay in one level without any loading screens for like 40 minutes, and there's not a problem. So, oh shit, people are launching fireworks up.
That's good to hear.
All right,
fireworks day.
At least it was. Hit me one more time, Dave.
Gotcha.
Actually, hit it twice. That is Joe Grover, the effing game cat, with $2 donations, and says, "Explain how the meter works, will you? Seriously." And he says, to be clear, the power meters. I can't figure it out. The power meter.
Yeah, we can explain that. So basically, you have a stamina meter that goes down if you run and if you perform strenuous things like hitting a zombie in the head with an axe or something like that. And there's like a temporary level of stamina, but then as you
it'll just drain and be a black background if it's just draining.
You get a permanent drain if you are overexerting yourself without eating something to restore that. So there's like a white bar that slides down that basically limits your total bar. So it'll be here, and then it'll go to here, and you have to eat something to replenish it. Health
when
is
you
the same
see,
way.
Right, when you see the red bar, sorry, Dave. When you see the red bar, that doesn't mean that you can just eat something and it builds back up again, or whatever. However it works, you have to actually. That means that your max endurance is lowered when you see red, and that same goes for health. When you see red on your health, you have to actually increase your max health before you can heal up. So that's kind of how that works.
Well, not necessarily. If you have half-life and you get hurt, bandages will get you back up to half-life. But if you're sick, you can't go beyond that,
right? Unless
you take medicine. So there's margins within which you can still heal, only up to that white bar that's cut your real-life bar in half, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully that explains it. But yeah, I mean,
it's tricky. It's hard to keep on top of. Really, it makes the game pretty challenging.
I got to be honest, man. This is when it comes to the level of interaction, the way it uses move controllers, the way it's a full game, the way the graphics are, even the story. There's been some really, really cool moments where there's options you can choose, and yes, it's nothing too drastic. But as an example, without spoiling anything, there was something I did where it was like, okay, I accomplished my mission. And then there was something Dave did, the exact same thing that he did differently, where everybody died. So there are some cool like repercussions and stuff for the choices you make in this game that to me are, even though there's no like real attachment to any characters, it's more like the consequences are really, really cool. And I've been trying to play as a saint or whatever. But you can't always play as just a saint. You're gonna have to do some bad shit to survive.
Walking Dead has always been, that's kind of the draw of Walking Dead.
Right.
Like, you try to be a good person, but you get put in a situation where you can't be the good person you want to be, and you got to make a choice that is violent in some way to some person. And that's always been, the comic books, the movies, that's really well represented here. So, like, if you're a fan of the series, this feels like Walking Dead. The only thing I'll say is that if you're used to, like, the Telltale games, where the decisions you make have, like, a lasting impression on the overall narrative, where it's like one person will remember you said something, like, 3 hours later. That's not really how this works. It's more episodic. Like, the decisions you make play out within that run of that stage. But until the end, they don't really have, like, long-term or, like, standing consequences. So your mission will play out differently, but the story, as it goes overall, is still pretty much the same. But it's not a huge downfall. I mean, I still think they did a really good job here.
Yeah. We got another donation, Dave. And that comes from Robbie B. The English Game Cat says with the five donation. Thank you, Robbie. And he says the inventory system becomes so satisfying when you build all your weapons and line them up on your rack to select later on. Scavenging is boss. I do agree. Like I said before, I am so addicted to scavenging, and it's halting my progress in the story because I can't stop going out and crafting and doing all this fun stuff. And yeah, that in itself is like a game to me.
Yeah.
What's funny is that I didn't kill a single zombie with a shotgun until after I beat the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's much more useful on humans than it is on zombies, because I was expecting the cool Resident Evil head pop, where you put a shotgun up and you just go, and it's really satisfying.
Yeah.
But it's actually a lot easier to headshot guys with the pistol, or just stab them in the head. So for groups of people, you can kind of like people, you can take care of them with the shotgun.
And I will
there was
say,
one mission where I realized I had to fight a bunch of people, and I was going in and I was like, oh, how much shotgun ammo do I have? And it was like 70. And so I just fucking unloaded on those.
You get a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I will say there is a weapon. I won't say what it is, but there is a weapon that will just straight up explode heads. And it's pretty crazy. Hit me one more time, Dave. And that is Joystick Guru with the $5 donation. Says, for my blatant absenteeism, miss you all and my free time. Sad face. Miss you too,
your 4K
Joystick.
TV, Joystick. Get back on VR. We miss you, man. Gotta play Firewall one of these days.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, Dave, you're talking about the pistol, and one of the things I was so stupid about this for so long, because just like Crisis Brigade, you can steady your gun with the other hand, and I was actually getting some tracking issues where like my hands were shooting out, and I was like, oh fuck, man, and it took me so long to go, oh wait a minute, once I've steadied my hand, I can just use this move controller over here, as long as I don't let go of the trigger. I can just use it normally. Oh yeah, so zero tracking problems whatsoever. And you can still steady your hand. Just move it away. It has zero impact.
Does that work with any two-handed weapon? I assume.
I don't know. Don't know. Like I said, it took me way too long.
You have to grip, maybe not. Like an axe, I feel like that wouldn't work.
I don't think it works on something like that. But like I said, it took me way too long to figure that out, and then it took me way too long to even fucking use a shotgun. So I was late on both of those things.
Long to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, this game kind of instills in you, like, you want to save stuff until it's really useful, because you don't have that much stuff. So for me, the shotgun, I was like, well, I'm just going to hold on to this until shit gets really hairy, and then I'll use it. And when it did, it was incredible. So, yeah.
All right. So I've said everything that I can say that's non-spoilery. I hope we did a good job of keeping it non-spoilery as possible. But
well, you can keep quiet. I got like 3 more hours of shit I want to say.
Well, no, that's cool. I will sit back and relax. But I was just going to say that, we were talking about like where this game rates and stuff. At this moment, now this is subject to change, but at this moment, guys, this is my number 1 PSVR game. and it's because the game, it's because the depth, the quality overall, everything that it has. This is kind of just what I want from a PSVR game. Now, that could just be the recency bias. We all know how that works. Mm-hmm. But to me personally, this is like almost like pretty much a perfect game. And to me, it is the number one game for PSVR at this moment, which is crazy. Because if you would have asked me if I would have ever thought like a Walking Dead game would be like my favorite PSVR game or like the best, or I consider it the best game, I'd be like, no, you're crazy. But man, just everything it has is just everything I feel like they do exactly right. And it's, don't want to get too into it for now. We'll get into it in the next top 25, but I just want to say that like hell of a job, Skydance, Skybound, everybody over there, because this is, out of all the VR games I played, this is like the most advanced. I feel like this game pushes VR forward in terms of like what it does from a technical level. Yeah. And to me, that is what like a perfect game is a game that like, it kind of raises the bar. It sets a new standard.
Jesus Christ. There's a dog out here. So two things real quick.
That's all I got to say.
I'm going to transition back to the laptop because my phone's about to die and there's a dog barking at me. So in the meantime, though, I want to say real quick before I switch over, VR. I'm going to freeze probably. This is one of my top 3, at least maybe my top 1. And I think I'll say Resident Evil 7 and this game are ambitious in VR in different ways. And they're both very successful at what their ambitions are.
Right.
But I think just because this one is a native ground-up VR title, it has certain things going for it that Resident Evil 7 doesn't have.
Yeah. Right.
Not to say that Resident Evil 7 doesn't have a lot of stuff.
And Resident Evil 7 is more scary,
For sure. For a straight horror experience, Resident Evil 7
it's more scary.
Absolutely.
This game, but man, when they walk...
survival experience and just like an overall gameplay experience, this is top of the heap, man. Like it's easily top 2 for me. And we'll figure out what's number 1. But I'm gonna switch back over. I'll see.
I will say it's not as scary as Resident Evil 7.
Not even close. I mean,
those moments though, but it still gets me every single time. When you walk up to a door, you grab that handle, and a fucking zombie just busts out of the door. That makes me jump every single time. And then whenever the tower bells go off, that is pretty intense. Now, in terms of just pure horror, like horror movie goodness that you and I, Bryan, we both like, Resident Evil definitely takes the edge. So that's kind of the only thing I can go back and forth on when it's going to come down to comparing them. But like I said, each one does like so many things, like is so deep in some way, and that one leans more towards like survival horror, and this is more like survival action stealth, maybe a little bit of like adventure stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean when you compare RE7 and Saints and Sinners, which again I hate comparing games.
Hard to do,
right? Even though they're both they've got a kind of a horror slant to them, they're radically different games, and it's really hard to compare them. But the fact is, it's like, the VR implementation of this works so well. I mean, every single time I went like this, I pulled out my backpack. I was like, oh, here's everything I need right here.
Yes,
every single time I went like this,
kind of thing.
Pulled out my map, and I was like, I have zero sense of direction, and a lot of these areas in the different towns look similar, right? Even like some houses are almost carbon copied when you're inside of them. And so just being able to do that and like, here's my map, and seeing your arrow move on the map as you're walking around, I was like, this is exactly what I need in this kind of game. And again, like you said, sometimes you're out on a scouting mission and you're looking for something specific. I didn't find enough sugars. Sugar, for some reason, is the hardest thing for me to find in Nolans, right? For whatever reason, I need more sugar. I finally upgraded that station. I'm good to go. But I'd find a fucking Twinkie and go, okay, well, I can get rid of this fucking beer can because I need that Twinkie way more than beer right now. And so having that inventory system was awesome. in everything too. Just like, two-handed weapon, pull it out from this side, the flashlight, like how many times were you in a tense situation and your flashlight goes and goes out? You're like, crap, gotta grab that, and you gotta shake it to recharge it.
Yeah,
it's just
going through those houses are pretty tense,
right? And you've got one weapon wielded on each side of your hip, and so you usually have a knife on one side and a gun on the other side if you're like me, and you're ready to do anything at any time. And it just feels like you're doing 20 different things all the time, but it all really works seamlessly together. Whereas like you pulling the backpack out like this, Resident Evil 7 had you push a button. I was like, there's something very like way more satisfying about that. What I will tell you when it comes to the top 20 list, what I want for Saints and Sinners to make it a number one game for me is more. Like this game.
Well,
is
I've got good for you, Brian. I've got good news for you, Brian.
I like.
They did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit yesterday, which was really cool. You should definitely go check it out. And they said that they are already working on more content for the game.
Good.
So it is already in the works. They're working on more content, and they're also working on the Quest port.
Because let me tell you that I love everything about this game, and if you're paying $40 for it, it's worth every penny. It is an amazing. You get an amazing value proposition here.
So much for $40.
It just seems like the way the world is set up, that you're getting missions over a radio, that you're running into random people on the streets and stuff. I could use maybe one extra area of town, maybe a few more things, another line of things to craft on each of my crafting stations. It doesn't seem like that's out of the question for this. You could just add 100 more quests and just keep the game going. It seems like.
Did you guys see the news thing that said that they're working on additional content?
Yeah,
yep. You just said that
while you were gone.
I know you dropped out. It's all good.
Yeah, no, should be hopefully good for now, I think.
What's up, Triangulator? He says, hello all, just joined in. Enjoyed your streams for The Walking Dead, AJ, Brian, and Dave. Cheers.
Thank you very much. I do want to say something about that stream, by the way. I got
hold on. Real quick, AJ, I know you're trying to protect my ego here, but he didn't say Dave. He said AJ and Brian.
He meant it.
He didn't like my stream, and that's okay, man. You don't have to protect me from the comments section.
I do have to protect you,
it's
Dave.
Okay.
I'm a saint, Dave. I'm a saint. No, I'm just kidding.
He's a sinner.
I'm a sinner for lying.
I killed everybody.
Sinner for lying.
I'm a sinner.
That's what happens. Just like the game, man.
So I got a couple negative comments. I mean, thank you guys, everybody who watched like that 3-hour live stream I did day one. Something about I got to tell you guys, maybe a little inside baseball here. When you use speech chat and you have comments, all the comments being read to you in your ear by this mechanical voice, instead of reading them on the screen somewhere, is really, you have two options. You can use the share button and read comments on the screen, or you can have speech chat read it to you. It happens at about the same clip. And the problem is that when you're hearing comments all the time for 3 hours straight, do you know what you're missing? Everything that's happening in the game, especially since I'm I'm not hearing any of the voiceovers. I'm also not hearing like anything I'm supposed to do. If there's tutorial things happening, I'm responding to your comments, which means I'm not paying attention to shit the game's telling me, like even on screen. It's just it's a lot to do for your first time playing a game ever. So I want to give a shout out to everybody who like stuck with me and like didn't give me shit for being like for missing, for everything. I literally, the 3-hour live stream, as soon as that live stream was over, I deleted that save. I started the game over, and I got to the same place in 32 minutes. Because I was oh look, the game actually told me what to do, and I was doing it, and I was figuring everything out. And so like I didn't actually show off 3 hours of that game in 3 hours. I showed off like 30 minutes of that game in 3 hours.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So just be patient when you're watching a streamer. Just understand that like they're playing it for the first time, and there are issues. There are technical issues keeping us from like being able to play it perfectly.
Yeah, and even outside of that, like, so I was playing with Drew and a few other people in a party chat where we were all playing Saints and Sinners.
I was just about to plug that. Anybody that wants to play along and chat with other people that are also playing, join our Discord. I see Kyle PSVR, I see Voidcat, I see Creeper Betty. Sounds like Delirium Drew and you guys were there, all getting into
I'm going to be back in tonight too. Like
a party chat. So
yeah.
It's a cool thing that people are doing.
It's a two-sided thing though, because like on the one hand, it's really cool to be along with people and say like, "Hey man, I'm at this part. Does anybody know like just like exchange tips and kind of talk each other through it and
Right.
share the excitements of like, oh man, I just got my first assault rifle or something like that. You know, talk to people while you're playing it. But a similar thing happens where everybody in the party's talking and I can't pay attention to what the story is telling me. So if you do join, I would say put on subtitles because that's helpful when people are talking in your ear and you want to still see what's going on. But yeah, come through the Discord, guys. If you aren't already there, we're all playing this game. We're all hanging out together while we do it. And like I said, I'm sure this will be tonight as well, too.
So, unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
yeah, of that bug.
Wait.
What?
Okay, we're all unfrozen again. Good. AJ, what's up?
I was going to say, unfortunately, I was one of the victims of that bug that happened. So my save file got a little erased or whatever. But because that happened, when I restart and get to the point where I left off my stream, I just decided, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and stream the rest of the game. So
nice.
That's going to be fun. So even though it kind of is hard to tell some of what's going on, now that I've played through some of it, it'll be cool, but there'll be new stuff as well. But yeah, I'm gonna stream the rest of the game once I get caught up to where I was, which I should be able to really fast.
We got 2 tips. First one is you got cold yogurt, 2 buccarinos, and he says, "So is the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners the Game Cat's Meow?" Mm-hmm. It is indeed the Game Cat's Meow.
It is the Game Cat's Meow.
Absolutely, 1,000%, very good game.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone not liking this. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
You get out of my home!
Couple people.
Poshest man in the chat, Robbie B, the English Game Cat. I was angry that your stream didn't last longer, Dave. So funny. I demand more drunk play Saints and Sinners.
It was pretty funny when
I will probably stream it again, but
it was funny when you grabbed the sticky bomb and thought it was a freaking like beer can.
Oh my god!
You thought it was a beer bottle,
and I left them there, and I just
everybody was just like goodbye.
Yeah, no, that was not good. Good.
Yeah, just I know that somebody asked how long the game is. It took, even after restarting, it took me about 16 hours to get through the game. Sure. And you know, like I said, I should have done things differently, and I think if I replayed it, I could probably get through in less than 10 hours. But I mean, I was stubborn, and when you're dying, if you're dying a lot, don't be stubborn. Just go and do something else. You'll figure it out.
One thing I want to address really quick, Stephen Cardwell in the chat says, I don't know if this is the thing, but if you kill humans without a headshot or damaging the brain, do they turn?
So funny.
That would be an amazing update, if not. Yes, Stephen, they do, and it's very cool.
Killing humans is the worst.
But if you have a situation where, like, there's a group of people and you want to create chaos, you can shoot a few of them without killing them.
That's true.
Give it a minute, and then they turn. And then they're fighting zombies, and you can pick them off while they're in the crossfire. I will say there were a couple times where I wasn't keeping that in mind, and I got into a firefight using my shotgun and stuff. And then, like, a minute later, I'm having dialogue with a guy who's like, hey, great job back there. And there's zombies rising everywhere. And I'm like, dude, 1 sec. I need to go stab a guy in the face so he doesn't kill you.
Yeah, no, dude, the number of times I killed people, and then minutes later, I'm killing the same people again as zombies. I was like, oh, man, this is like a double-edged sword. There's no winning here.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure is right. But very, very cool stuff. What do you guys... do we move on from this? Do we move on from Saints and Sinners?
I want to... Warren Gore asked a question, and just so he doesn't have to go back and try and find it,
okay.
He says, what was the bug that makes you lose your save file? From what we can tell, it has something to do with standing on the skiff to leave an area when the bells are going off. So if you can avoid that if possible, just please try not to do that because it sucks. Although, you know, like AJ told me, he wasn't really that upset because this game makes you want to replay it. Like, it sucks to lose your progress, but at the same time, I can't even hear you guys. I can't hear AJ. I can't hear AJ. He's talking.
Can you hear me?
You're on mute. You're on mute, man.
I'm on mute again. Damn, why am I doing that to myself?
No.
I was saying, yeah, just don't stand on the boat when the bell rings. That's basically it. And no, I'm not mad about it. I mean, it sucks, yes. But I love this game so much that, like, I do hope they get it fixed as soon as possible. But
and I think they will because, like, a lot of people have mentioned that issue. But the good thing is that it's consistent, it's repeatable. That means they can fix it, and that means you guys can avoid it because you listened to us tell you not to do that. So right. I think we're all good for now. Like Kyle said, the devs are aware of it. They're fixing it. We got 2 big old tips coming in here, and I'm going to put this first one here. Another one from the Triangulator says, "So sorry I missed your stream, Dave. Love all three of you dudes. Rock on." I was play acting that I was upset. So yeah, you're great, man. No worries if you didn't see everybody's stream.
Thank you very much.
You don't have to watch all this stuff. We got another one.
Fuck you! This is my dream world!
Purified for $20. He doesn't want to hear what me and AJ think. He wants Brian's thoughts. This game has the best feel for two-handed weapons, in my opinion. What do you think? We already discussed this.
Listen, Bryan is without parole. You guys are just fucking filler.
That's true. No. I wish that guy with the dyed hair and the dude with the hat on would shut up.
Where's Cornerstone City 777? We need him to answer for his crimes.
He's going to be here after the fact.
Yeah. No. We love you guys. And I do think that was a joke. But the two-handed weapons feel great, man. I think it is very satisfying to be like, oh, I have a bat with nails in it. And be like, I'm chopping away at these planks that are like boarding up a hole in a door. But you don't agree. What's up? He didn't want to hear your opinion.
No. This is a total agreement.
Yeah.
I love the spike bat. To me, that's the most satisfying weapon to use in the entire game. I love the spike bat. That's all I have to say.
Really good. Two-handed weapons. Like I said, I only just started using the shotgun, and it feels very, very satisfying to pump that. Everything feels great. The
King of Random asks, do the bodies actually deform? I know you can like stab them anywhere, and
you can cut arms and legs off and shit.
That's what I was wondering. I know you can cut heads.
I've seen people pick up arms before.
Yeah, you can chop off arms or whatever. Yeah,
I haven't even tried it yet. I didn't even think about that. But I one of my favorite things was taking this one weapon and just running across the street and just going and just running by and slicing off their head and watch it go flying.
Sometimes the game takes into account your momentum when you're running or something. Because like there were plenty of times when I just ran up to a zombie with a shiv out and it went in so smooth.
Yeah,
I was
like all that momentum. Yeah, it is a great feeling when you stab it and it gets stuck though, and then you have to you're like, come on,
grab the head and pull it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I tried running. Have you tried running and still had a fucking zombie?
Drag it along with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. They're like, why can't I move? And you look down. And
he's like, oh, my knife
stuck in its head, and you're like, oh shit.
The knife that's called the Night Shift is my favorite because it's
the Night Shift is
super
so
durable and it just goes in, goes out. Good stuff.
Comes right out. Even though I have like the cleaver and stuff, and everybody likes the cleaver, I'm still keeping a Night Shift with me all the time. I like it better. It's more satisfying. I like certain weapons, and this is one of the best parts of the game. And I think we could talk about this game for like another hour. Probably.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
One of my favorite things is every weapon feels different and interacts differently with what you're trying to hit.
Right.
So like a crowbar has that curved edge, right? If you don't connect properly with that curved edge, you are not going to bonk them. You just bounce off the side of their head. And so like we'll get to this in a minute, but in the chat, the comments, Robbie's making fun of Ryan for this from VR Grid. But yeah, he was using a crowbar and it kept bouncing off the side of the head because you actually have to be thoughtful about where you hold it, how you swing it, and where the connecting tip goes in. And so there's a lot of stuff where you have to really get the feel for it, but then once you do, you feel like such a badass.
Yeah.
So just the two-handed weapons are so goddamn good in this game. We have a lot of tips to get to, so I'm going to get the next one here.
All right.
Joe Grover again. $5 says, are you playing through being a good guy in all choices and then going to play again being a bad guy, killing all humans, mayhem, murderer mode?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I would definitely play through good. And then the second time, everybody's going to fear me. Everybody's going to fear me the second time I play this game.
Well, so like any Walking Dead game, it doesn't make it easy to be a good guy in all choices.
Survivors.
Right.
So like KOTOR or something like that, you can either just pick every Paragon option or whatever it is. Like you can be the good guy or you can be the bad guy. In this one, you're just trying to get through, and sometimes you end up feeling like the bad guy for a decision that was hard to make anyways. So it's really not like you're a saint or a sinner. You're kind of a saint and a sinner no matter what you do at the same time, which is cool. But I do want to see the other choices.
I didn't try to be a good guy or a bad guy. I just sort of made decisions willy-nilly, however I felt at the moment.
Exactly.
And so sometimes, somebody would be like, give me everything you got, or like, give me all your food. They try to rob me. And sometimes I'd be like, well, here's some food. Maybe you'll get off my back. And sometimes I just like pulled out a knife and chopped off their head.
Well, there was a guy who came up to me and was like, sir, please, I could use some medicine. Please, thank you. And I was like, oh, I have one bottle of medicine. I could probably use it myself, but I'll give it to you. Here you go. Yeah. And he was like, thank you. And he gave me some parts that I could use to recycle and make weapons. There was another guy who came up. Sorry, real quick. There's a guy who came up to me in a shed and was like pointing a gun at me, and he said, "Give me your medicine right now, or I'll shoot." And I just immediately, without thinking, grabbed my shiv and just hit him directly in the face before he could say anything.
Nice.
And it was just like, all right, dude, I took care of that situation. Like,
dude, my favorite was there was a girl who came up to me and said, I really, please help me. I need some bandages. And I said, okay. You know, I was like, you were nice. You're not threatening me. I pulled out my backpack. Yeah. I found some dirty bandages. I was like, whatever, you can have these. And she was so happy. She's like, oh, this is so great. She gave me some stuff in return. And then she runs off, and I look over, and she gets killed by the first zombie she runs into. She goes down. I run over. I took the bandages back and took off.
Yep. Dropped him.
She dropped him.
That's cool.
It was ridiculous. It was like these are not like scripted story points. They just happen in the game, and like they were more fun for me than the scripted stuff.
Right. We have a couple questions because I asked the chat to ask us some questions.
Tips.
We can get those too. But let me just answer this real quick because this is important. Chase May says when that red circle appears is weird. I don't know how that works. That is basically your endurance running out. When your endurance runs out, it'll not allow you to grab them or anything, and it'll have a red circle. It'll also make this like awful noise when your endurance is low. So just keep an ear out for that. If you want to get the tips or whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, there was one guy who was asking the same question like 90 times.
Yeah, you cannot play this multiplayer.
You cannot play it online. Just
I was gonna.
Don't spam the chat. Don't do it.
Spam the chat.
Be nice.
There's no multiplayer. But anyways, here we go. That's not specifically to you, the guy that's spamming, but maybe it is. So what's our next one here? We got Stupid Donkey, $2. He says, "Say my name, Brian. Would you say it? I feel like he wants you to say it."
Stupid Donkey.
There we go.
Was that good?
And then one more. This is what I referred to earlier. Ryan from VR Grid was having some problems with those two-handed weapons. He said, "Hey, Dave," because we were watching them together on chat. So thanks for the tip, as always. And let's continue. What do we got next?
I'm trying to remember like where we were here. I have no idea. For me, I know we kind of touched on this a little bit before. I think where this thing lies in how I feel about it in a few months is really going to come down to what additions they make, because I don't know how invested I am in the end game content, with just unlocking every single last recipe and everything like that.
Are you the only one of us here who's in the end game? AJ, you didn't beat it yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so what is the end game? I'm curious.
Okay, so listen, it's not spoilery, but like
without spoiling.
No. Listen, if you don't, I'm not going to spoil the story.
This is a value proposition for people. They're trying to figure out how much is.
No, I'm totally telling this in my review. I'm saying this because when people buy a game, they want to know like is there like what there is to it. So cover your ears, man, if you don't want to hear end game stuff. But again, I'm not spoiling story, so it's really not a spoiler. What happens after you beat the game? You've made all your decisions. Credits roll, and then you're back on your bus. Back on your bus, and cover your ears real quick. Ready? Cover your ears. 7 days pass. Okay, you can uncover your ears.
There are a lot more zombies.
What's that?
Well, a lot more zombies.
So I was on day. God, I must have been on day 15 or so when I finished, and so it was like, here you go, day 22. And so so every single day that passes, there are more zombies and less supplies. So suddenly, like having a week pass, you're like, oh shit, this might get crazy. I've only gone out twice, I think now, and I will say it didn't seem like a significant number of zombies increased. But again, I've only gone out a couple times, so I don't want to say definitively that it's like not way harder.
Can I ask you, the stuff that happens on Channel 47, does that keep going after the game ends?
That definitely keeps going. Keeps going. And on top of that...
Are there still like death squads and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. So
that's interesting. So there's still stuff to do, like not objectives, but like events going on in certain areas if you wanted to check it out. Okay, cool.
Right. So but for me, it just seems... It doesn't seem pointless, but I don't know if I'm going to like really have a huge desire to keep playing once I've unlocked all the safes, once I've unlocked all the recipes, once I've really, fully fleshed out all those crafting stations. I'm curious. I'm not saying I won't. I'm saying I don't know yet.
Just to clarify here, it is a post game, not a new game plus, right? You don't take this, you can't take the stuff you get and go back in and
it is post game 100%.
Okay, so I think for me, post game sounds interesting, and I'll probably play with it a decent amount. But really, the exciting thing for me is to replay the game from the beginning, knowing what I know now, and see how that run goes, because it doesn't explain everything to you. And a lot of stuff I learned along the way from other people in the community, or just like after banging my head against a wall enough times, I was like, oh, that's the thing you do. You know what I mean? It slowly reveals itself to you. And I think once you know all the mechanics and you know what you're doing, a second run would be so much fun.
Absolutely.
To just try out the different options for, dialogue choices, story choices, branches, and stuff like that. But then also just go in knowing what you're there to do.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to play this at least twice.
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely going to play through it again for sure.
I can't say that about most PSVR games. I mean, to be honest, I don't even want to finish a lot of PSVR games. Even if they're like 4 hours, sometimes I'm just like, I don't like this that much. I'm going to move on.
It is crazy. It is nice to finally have. It's been so long since we've had like a fully fleshed out full-length game on PlayStation VR.
I mean, the last AAA quality game we got was maybe there's been a few, and none of them have executed. You know, there was Rockstar's LA Noire, which was that was like 8 hours. It looked really good, but it had like clunky gameplay and like really clunky gameplay.
Yeah.
Still really good though. I still recommend it on sale. And then there was No Man's Sky, which is obviously amazing, but really blurry. So, and then there was Blood and Truth, which was also like absolutely amazing. One of my favorite experiences ever, but it was like 4 or 5 hours long. This just doesn't have any of those, like, here's the catch. This doesn't have any like catches with it. You know what I mean? There's no catch-22 with this game. Maybe that bug is this thing, but that's avoidable and that'll get fixed.
Yeah. And I mean,
but there's no design or quality or like content, catch-22s here, which I really like.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about this game that was frustrating or like when I had a problem, it was because of how I approached the situation. It was never the game's problem. I did not get frustrated and say, hey, these mechanics are messing with me and I can't hit a guy I'm supposed to. This game sucks. Like, it was me learning, okay, no, I'm doing it wrong. This is how you have to do it properly. And then once you get that, it's satisfying. You're never fighting the game. You're fighting yourself to be better at it, which is really cool. Like it just said, it's pretty much perfect. I really like this game.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to stop the Saints and Sinners conversation. Really, really, really impressive.
I love this comment. Guts Griffith says, AJ is saying this game has a real ass on it.
Damn right.
All right.
Big, nice, thick, big, juicy. This game is thick, homie. Guts Griffith knows what's up.
This game's got something to hold on to.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like them too skinny.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
All right. I am speaking for myself. That's why I said I don't like them too skinny.
No, I know. I know. We can get into a fight about it if you want. My preferences are better than your preferences.
I'll take a beer bottle and I'll break it and stab it in the head.
Right? Crazy. Crazy. We didn't
even mention that.
Right?
Out of all the things,
one of the first things you do. First thing you pick up a bottle, smash it over a zombie's head, and then shove it into his neck.
You could go the Dave route and just blur them to death. No, I'm kidding. Dave just smashes them. He smashes them in the head with the bottle first.
That's what
he breaks the bottle over their head.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that dramatic effect. It's like cocking a shotgun, where it's like, this when you break the bottle, it's like, like builds that suspense, which is really cool. But stealth launch, no force. I do wish they Voidcat says stealth launch, no force blinders, click turning or teleportation, epic win. Yeah. I do wish they kind of marketed this game a little bit more. I hope to see them like put like a commercial or something for this game. They really need to be shouting this game out from the rooftops because this is a big deal for us, man. This is a huge deal as a game.
Yeah, if this doesn't sell, if we don't see this like on the number one spot, PlayStation VR next month, I have lost all faith.
Or number two. It could be okay. I'd be okay if it was number two behind Beat Saber.
I've lost all faith in all you fucking PlayStation VR gamers because everyone should already own this thing. This is one of those where you like, if you don't wait for a sale on Saints and Sinners, like you want to play it the second it comes out because it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and we get games that are so incredible, so few and far between. I mean, I don't think we've ever sat and talked about one game on GamesCast Live for an hour and a half straight.
Nope.
You want to talk about Resident Evil 7? I can talk about that for about 4 hours.
Fantastic game, man. Everybody go out and buy Saints and Sinners. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Skydance. Thank you, Skybound. You guys are some crazy. I mean, there's so much love, so much talent, and so much money put into this game. These kind of games aren't cheap, guys. These kind of games cost a lot of money and a lot of work and stuff, and we need to make sure we reward these developers like this.
Just to kind of put a pin on it, we've talked about this before in terms of developers, but Skydance is literally in parallel with Vitruvius VR. Vitruvius made Mervils, and then they made Shadow Legend, and it's like we're watching developers go from making kind of small, cool games to making bigger, better games, and slowly we're watching these small independent studios become the next AAA VR developers. And these guys, Skydance made Archangel, and man, if you haven't seen that interview with the what is the CEO, what's his name, man? The CEO of Skydance is
it was the head technologist you're talking about, Peter Aikman.
Peter Aikman.
I mean, his name is so easy because it always reminds me of Peter Venkman.
Perfect.
So it's like Peter Aikman, so easy to remember.
But if you haven't watched that interview, he talks about how about setting expectations for himself and for games that they're making and working within a budget and starting off doing things you can do, and the progression of Skydance has been incredible. They went from making Archangel. And then doing the Archangel Hellfire multiplayer thing on PC, where they sort of were experimenting and seeing how they can push VR forward. And then they went full-fledged. They went full into it. And to see them go from Archangel to this is, like, monumental. This is the great thing about VR. Back? You're back. This is the great thing about VR developers is we're watching them go from these indie studios to AAA studios very, very quickly. And, like, hopefully this game makes them money back very fast.
I'm sure you just mentioned Shadow Legend in
that
conversation. Yeah, I wasn't here for it, but I'm sure you did. And it's
everyone
incredible.
else was here.
Archangel. So Archangel was already a very polished product to begin with. It was just too expensive, but there's not much bad you can say about that game except for the price. It's very much better than it needs to be for an on-rails shooter. There's a lot of story, a lot of presentation, production value there. And so they proved, I think, with that one that they could do something in VR that was cool and polished and well done. But this is just like completely knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
1,000%. Like this game is fucking great. So
this is why you need to support your VR developers because man, they're going to be the ones. It's not apparently EA isn't looking to make Mirror's Edge in VR. The developers of Stride are going to do that, right? It's not the big AAA companies that are pushing VR forward. It's everybody else, and so it's going to be awesome to see what they do.
Is like you see some of these companies who aren't even typically game developers. Like Skydance is a movie production studio,
right? They do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is like an entertainment studio, and then you have stuff like Transference, which is Elijah Wood's movie studio, movie production. Spectre Vision. Yeah, they put out like Mandy and stuff, but then they're also making Transference. And I think it's really cool to see. I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at any of these, but this year on the Oculus Quest, you could watch like all the Cannes Film Festival like VR stuff that they put out there for like a week or so. And it's just interesting to see that like actual non-game development companies are getting into the stuff and really knocking it out of the park. Because like presentation and just like the how you put stuff in front of people is very important in a game, in a VR game. And so, like, these people who have a deep background in film, I think, have a really good, like, starting ground to come in and serve up these awesome experiences. Because, like, narratively, it does feel, like you said, you ignored a lot of it because you were listening to chat, but, like, there's good stuff in there. It's, like, well-voiced, scripted, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's as good a story as you'd expect, I guess.
Yeah.
But
like I said, it was one of my downfalls, one of my few disappointments in the game. But
one thing Justin said, which is interesting, he says Skydance understands that the video game industry is destroying the profits that the movie industry used to get, which is probably true. I mean, as we get to this point, like, games are a bigger market, I think, money-wise, than movies at this point. And so movie studios might be looking to transition into mediums like this, where it's like you can still tell an immersive story, but in a gaming platform, in a medium like that. So I'm really excited to see what these guys are up to in the future. Skydance, like, whatever they come out with next, I can't imagine it won't be really good.
I really got my fingers crossed that these guys make their money back, that they profit heavily on this. Obviously, with the Walking Dead name attached, it should sell really, really well.
It should,
But we've seen on the top 10 list before games that should sell really, really well not sell really, really well.
And then fucking Rick and Morty is number 4 again, or some shit. Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, I am hopeful, and I think that Walking Dead will be in the top 10 next month for sales. I really hope it is. I hope it's number 1.
It better be
you
number 1.
You guys better go out and buy that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing is, Critical Grim in the chat was talking about it would be cool if you run into other people online in The Walking Dead, and I really feel it feels like a game that was, that's sort of almost designed around a multiplayer idea that didn't have multiplayer, and I really think next gen we could see something like that. I think this is something that PlayStation 5 will see a whole lot more of.
Well, yeah. You know what? It actually reminded me quite often of the multiplayer mode in the first Last of Us.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Thing, from each day, every match you play, you have this group of survivors, and people get sick, and you get more resources, and you can feed more people, and people die. Like, you're managing this group of survivors with you. And I kind of feel like it's that, but just with a one-person kind of scale. Like, you're out there doing interesting stuff, but every day it gets more intense. Every day things get harder, and you have to maintain. So, like, it would slot really well into that kind of... I'll say I think The Last of Us multiplayer was one of my favorite multiplayer modes ever.
It was really good.
It's really fucking good, especially for people who aren't, like, shooter people. Like, it's very tactical. Like, you can be thoughtful about it and really play it well without having to get headshots and no scopes or whatever. Like, it's... Where did AJ go, by the way?
He's in the chat. That's where he went. He went to the chat.
Oh, into the chat.
Yeah.
He's in the Matrix now.
That's
disappeared into
eventually we're going to lose everyone to the Matrix.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
Jake.
just kind of rambling, but yeah, no. What do you want to talk about next?
I don't know, man. Should we move on? Should we move on to the next topic of GamesCast Live?
Certainly, we could. Let me look at the run-up show and see what it is.
All right.
Actually, why don't you tell me, because it's not pulled up yet.
Okay. Well, then I guess the next thing we want to talk about is that this past week we got a release date for one of our more anticipated PlayStation VR games.
You and I about that,
both played it.
Polish ball game?
I don't think
it's never mind.
Nope. In fact,
it's not Gorn.
It's not Gorn. It's not Gorn. In fact, it's Pixel Ripped 1995.
Next week, isn't it?
It's next week. Absolutely. So the funny thing is like there's an embargo on the PSVR version, but you and I both played it and talked about the Quest version already.
And there was a different embargo for the Quest version, so we're free to talk about that as much as we want.
We can talk about the Quest version.
Legally, I think we're in good standing.
I think so.
Yeah, and there's probably no Arvory lawyers watching this right now. I don't even know if they have a lawyer.
Probably no lawyers.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is, as we've said in the past, I think Bryan and I talked at length, but if you weren't on that GamesCast, Pixel Ripped 1995 totally squashed any worries that I had about them being a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Because I had worried in the past that, like, 89 was great, but is this just the same game again? And really, they've in every.
Uh-oh, guys. I'm about to be on my own. It's just going to be me in the chat. Dave doesn't know he's frozen yet. It's got a good rhythm. Oh. I can't keep up. It's craziness. Absolutely insanity.
It's all right. I'm here. I'm back.
Oh, thank goodness.
Good timing.
I was listening to Dave, and it was great. But it was more of an electronic song than a person speaking.
Oh, yeah, I miss you too. What's up, dudes? Yeah, sorry, I had to stretch my legs. My legs were killing me for a second. I had to go get the blood flowing back again. But yeah, dude, I am so stoked for Pixel Rip 1995.
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned before there's that interview with the PSVR chat show that you can go watch where I got to interview Anna, the creative director of Pixel Ripped and creator of Pixel Ripped, and Ricardo from the CEO of Arvory. So yeah, check that out, PSVR chat show. Bryan and I will probably have a review for this on Tuesday.
Yep.
We will have reviews for this ready to go. And like I said, if you like Pixel Ripped and want to support them some more, I highly recommend checking out their stuff on threadless.com. And by the way, we don't accept money from developers or anything.
Nope.
We just are passionate about games. So if it seems like I'm plugging stuff really hard right now, it's just because I love Pixel Ripped. The original 1989 got the price drop finally on the EU store as well. It's £14.99 on the UK store. So they got that fixed, which is nice.
Oh shit! Hey!
Dave's back. Dave, we can hear
sort of
the GAMESCAST through your phone.
No, I muted it.
Okay.
We're good.
As long as you know.
But I think as soon as I joined on this thing, it unfroze on my computer. So I just felt bad because you were by yourself. AJ and I were both.
It's okay, dude. You should have heard how it sounded. It sounded amazing.
Could you hear me when I was?
I cannot.
No. But can we hear Tree Guy real quick before we hear what you have to say?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Hold on one sec.
That's Joe Grover, the effing game cat, with the $5 donation saying Dave's shirt says A Stacia on camera due to the bottom edge cut off. Even his shirt stutters. Joke's getting old yet? Never.
Never. They won't.
AJ gave up.
Never.
Question mark. AJ did not give up. He's back. That's why we waited to read your tip, man, because we wanted AJ to come back swinging.
Oh yeah.
Was that the only one?
I think so.
Hopefully Bryan, I know what the big thing I missed was. But we'll get to that because we're going in order. We're still on Tuesday, guys. We are still on what has happened Tuesday. It was that crazy. Are you ready to move on to the next game?
Be very excited for Pixel Ripped 1995.
We talked about Pixel Ripped? Yeah.
Be very excited.
Yes.
This is
May 12th.
Better than the first.
Oh yeah, we didn't even say the date. I just said I wrote on the screen coming next week, May 12th. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. May 12th is when it's coming. I cannot wait. I am excited, guys. I'm very, very excited. And
Yes, you should be. It's a very good game.
Yeah. All the complaints that the people had about the first one, I didn't even have some of those same complaints. So.
Well, here's the thing. This game rectifies any complaints that anybody had about the first one.
Right.
I had complaints about the first one. I don't have any complaints about this. I think the narrative aspect of it has been fleshed out in a way that's really cool. So, like, we might have discussed this a little bit before, but if you weren't there, there's actually an overarching story. There's characters with arcs in this game now. And, like...
Shout out to Barbara.
Barbara, she's the writer. She's cool. I hung out with her in the rec room party we had.
Yeah.
But basically, the narrative of the game mirrors the mechanics and the nostalgia and the feeling of the game. So, like, it's that idea of, like, you're a kid and you're playing these games on your SNES or Genesis or whatever, and your mom's telling you to stop and all this stuff. And then by the end of it, she sort of comes around, and it's a very cool storyline, I think.
I will say...
and it really... Go ahead. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it's all good. We said, we'd already talked about, with the AMA that Skydance did, they're going to be bringing more content to The Walking Dead. Before Pixel Ripped even comes out on PlayStation VR, Arvory is saying that they are bringing additional content to Pixel Ripped 1995. And as they said in their press release, It's going to be free updates, and the goal is to add more challenge, fun, and replayability to the game. And I will say that is something I'm very, very much looking forward to, because an excuse to replay this game is going to be a good one.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So, additionally, on Tuesday, we got an announcement from Sin Studio regarding their new
Our favorite developers,
Swordsman VR, and it's supposed to be coming soon.
Come up with a better goddamn name than Swordsman VR.
They do have pretty generic names.
Yeah. What is
Warzone,
it? The Perfect Sniper.
A Perfect Sniper.
They could have just called it Sniper
Wraith.
VR, which would have been the same thing as Swordsman VR. I think the Perfect Sniper is I think it's a better name. It wasn't a box of cereal. It's my ex-girlfriend's little violin.
Sorry. Hold on.
Did you play it for her when you broke up with her?
No, I didn't. It's not tiny enough. I need a little tiny violin.
But yeah, so he did post this on Reddit, and I want to believe that this is going to be good. I really hope so. But he says, hello, Reddit. We are happy to announce our latest project, Swordsman VR. It's a physics-based, story-driven medieval combat game set to release this summer on PC and PSVR. He says the game features 6 combat environments, 5 boss fights, 4 different cultures, knights, Vikings, Mongols, samurai, plus a final boss, dozens of unique interactive weapons, shields and bonus boss items, and a progression system with player stats and abilities to let you customize your character builds for a unique experience based on your fighting style. And a partridge and a pear tree.
I like progression systems. Like that's just hearing that always makes me happy. For anybody who doesn't know what Sin Studio has done before, they made Wraith, which was like a very below average wave shooter.
It's like the real shitty cousin of
Brookhaven.
Brookhaven, Brookhaven. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and I mean, if it was a $5 game, like I excuse so many things when you get to the $5 price point, right?
Deadland, yeah, you gave Deadland.
I like Deadland. I had fun with Deadland because it was a $6 game, and so if Wraith was also $5, it was only $10, but I mean, still, it should be $5. And
that's a little much.
It had a real time marketplace. So like in the middle of shooting all these guys coming at you, you had to bring up this menu and like buy stuff off a store. It didn't pause the game, like more guns, more ammo, that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's a really cool mechanic. And the game didn't look awful or anything. So for $5, it would have been a cool game. Perfect Sniper had similar problems, right? It was super short, $15. It's like, oh Jesus, like what is going on here? So hopefully they price this thing accordingly, and hopefully they put some more TLC into it before it hits the store.
I'm really hoping that this is good. I will give them a 4th chance. I will believe this one time. I will make an exception and give somebody a 4th chance. But I don't believe in 5th chances, guys. 5 is my lucky number.
That's where you draw the line.
5 is my lucky number, and I will not have my lucky number tainted with that. So
luckily,
this
six,
is
my lucky number is 6. So I'm fucking good for a couple more games.
I just want to say this is
it, man. If they mess this up, I'm done with Sin Studio forever.
All right, so here we go. It's super relevant.
Mm-hmm.
We have, as far as devs go, we talked about this earlier. We have saints and we have sinners, because the saints are the ones that do a Mervils and then somehow do a Shadow Legend. They're incredible.
Yeah,
they just skyrocket. These Skydance Interactives, these people. And then there's the sinners, like Sin Studio, that just keep putting out shitty game after shitty game, and they're not improving on these games. Like Perfect Sniper is not appreciably better than Wraith or vice versa, and like they haven't really proven that they have moved forward in any way.
Warzone is
like
the worst. One of the worst PSV. Warzone is
Sin Studio. They're getting worse. They're the opposite. So they're
Warzone. I have tons of respect for developers. I don't want to be too mean to them and mock them or anything. But Warzone is literally one of the worst PSVR games I've ever played. It is awful,
very bad. So don't expect a whole lot out of Swordsman VR. But we'll see.
Well, the thing with all Sin Studios games, I feel like all of them for budget games were almost there. Like they were so close to being almost kind of fun, but then something major screwed it up. Like Warzone, it didn't have the online multiplayer, and that's the only thing that could have saved that game in its current state, because the AI is so fucking precise and can kill you from all the way across the map, and you don't have a chance. So the only thing that would have saved it in its current state is online multiplayer, which was stripped out of the PC version when it was brought to PSVR. So just a little more TLC before this game comes out. I have talked to Alex over at Sin Studio, and he seems very passionate about this. He seems like this is the one like he's been wanting to make since creating Sin Studio. So fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I don't know what he was doing all the rest of the time, making those shitty games in the meantime. But I think it's a funny question from the chat. Darth Vader himself asks, AJ, what do you think about Vader Immortal coming to PSVR? And I feel like you should be very careful about how you Darth Vader when he asks you how you feel.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Please let me go. I'm so stoked for Vader Immortal. Absolutely, my lord.
All right, Swordsman VR. We've talked enough about Swordsman. What?
Far too much.
All right, so guys, on May 19th, according to PlayStation Blog, the outlandish physics-heavy combat sandbox hits PSVR later this month, including a far less gory pinata mode. Gorn is coming in 2 weeks. 2 weeks away. We finally get to play this. And, I really was keeping my hype levels down. And now that we have a release date, I'm ready to have some fun with this, man.
You just say the 19th, right?
The 19th, yes. And I think it's coming
right on the screen.
I want to say it's coming a little bit later in the EU, and I'm not sure. One of these games was coming out like at some point and then coming out later in the EU. And I think it was Gorn, but it could have been Pixar.
Give me a second.
Anyways,
here.
The real thing is we're saying we're excited. Gorn is coming in less than 2 weeks.
Gorn
is coming.
It looks like it looks like Gorn is worldwide 19th. I think Pixel Ripped was the following week.
We'll see if it's exciting. Everybody in the chat is fucking around saying it got canceled. These guys are just fucking around.
They're just messing around.
They're playing with their.
They're all having a good time. They're having a good time. But
because as it turns out, it seems as though Gorn fans are super gullible, and that's what. Because anytime anyone says anything about Gorn, they go, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?" It's insane.
I mean, Paul exists because Gorn fans are gullible. Yeah. Just kidding, Paul. I love you.
I'm excited for this game again, especially knowing that it's coming in 2 weeks. That now I can be excited for it. I don't know how much time I'm going to get out of this game, but if it's a cool experience, and I know. We need something to replace Drunken Bar Fight, and if you look at like how the severing heads and the gore, and I'm not even like a big gore guy, but the stuff in Saints and Sinners was so much fun. Yeah. So this being cartoony and being able to like rip arms off and stuff and throw them into the thing, and it's all like all Gladiator. I think that's what I kind of like about it. Is it's got this like Gladiator vibe to it. I'm gonna listen to the Gladiator theme while I'm playing this. And get really, really into it. No, I'm totally kidding. But yeah, I could throw on some metal music and play some Gorn for a little bit, let off some steam. I'm hoping we have one of these good sandbox beat 'em up games, and this seems like the prime candidate over stuff that has failed miserably before.
Oh god, Rage Room was like the biggest offender. A $40 piece of shit.
$40. Yes, this is $20, right? I think $20.
Yeah, confirmed.
Do you guys know about have you talked to the devs of this game that's on Quest that is like a beat 'em up, sort of like Streets of Rage style, but first person? You guys know what I'm talking about? You know what game I'm talking about? It's like
somebody will remember
the title off the top of my head. Somebody in chat will know.
I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Yeah,
but I think like as far as beat 'em ups go, when you say arena based, like wave based, like sandbox, that's fine or whatever. But I think it'll be fun to start getting these kind of beat 'em ups that are more like narrative, or like a story or a game, or like you have something to do. You go through a new area and then you beat it and you go to a new area. So like I like this kind of concept, but with not just an arena that I'm standing in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, only time will tell. It's we've certainly been told about games before that seem really boring, and we've
guys, stop, hold on, stop, everybody stop. PSVR is dead. I'm sorry. There's a guy in the chat. PSVR is dead. We got to wrap it up.
Oh, I guess I'll shut down the channel.
Yeah, turn the channel off.
Even though
Path of the Warrior. Path of the Warrior.
Yeah, and he says we all know it. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I guess we did know in our hearts, but that's it.
Yeah, except PSVR just had the biggest day since its inception.
Dude, yeah. I'm HOTG, man.
You literally had like a year to come in with that comment and make it worth something. No, that is bad form.
Bad timing. Yeah.
I'm hot good. Whatever the fuck your name is.
Listen, there's a lot of people out there who are scared that PlayStation VR is so good, right? There's a lot of people out there being like, oh my God, PlayStation VR might be as good as PC VR. And they're like, so they're constantly trying to downplay it. Then there's people who think that VR is going to take over the game industry. And they're constantly like, oh my God, VR's dead. VR sucks. VR this. And so it's just a bunch of fucking people who are scared. And that's all it is. And every time I see a comment like that, you're going to come around eventually. When, on your 13th birthday, your parents might give you enough money to go and buy a VR headset, and you'll learn. And you'll see how great it is.
That is the perfect burn. That is the best burn that I've ever heard.
So, you'll come around eventually because VR is fucking incredible. And it's really sad when people bash it for no apparent reason. It's like it's the new homophobia. It's the new race war. It's everything. So
I wouldn't put it in the same boat.
I'm putting it in the same boat. Get over it.
I have to answer to my Lord Darth Vader, who asked, "Do I think
because gays are going to take over the world? That's why this
PSVR. If so, when do you think? I think Pavlov could maybe, but I don't expect it anytime soon. We'll have Alvo first.
I have to interrupt again. This guy's not a kid. He's 48. That's even worse.
That's generally what kids say.
Guys, can you roast him for us so I don't have to interrupt?
Yeah, don't give trolls attention, man.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I don't think VR chat will ever will happen though, because it's so reliant on like adding your own mods and your own things to it and stuff like that. So I don't really see it. If even if it did come to us, it'd be some limited form. It's more likely that we get something in Dreams, that we can create our own communities and create our own stuff. Or hopefully PS5 brings back, what was it, PS Home? I still believe that one day we could see something like PS Home, where people can just interact with. We already have Rec Room.
But I don't know. I want PS5.
Nick Milo says he. Nick Milo said he meant he's 4 + 8.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm this many plus this many.
No, but as far as that goes, I think it would be really cool to have like trophies displayed on an actual shelf in your VR house that people can come visit. Because anytime we would go to your place, they'd be like, "Jesus Christ, man! What the hell? That's a lot of trophies you got on your wall," and you'd feel satisfied and you'd feel great.
A great man, a great man, Mr. Sean Layden himself. I'm fucking miss you, dude. Said
he didn't die.
I know, but
Sean's alive and well.
But he's not with.
R.I.P. Sean Layden anymore. R.I.P. Can we pour one out for Sean Layden in the chat?
No, I didn't mean it like that. The dude brought back Crash Bandicoot Medieval, but. He once said that everybody, is expecting and wanting VR to be at 5.0, and they said, but they got to remember that we got to get to 1.0 first. Like this is VR 1.0 right now, and it's just going to get better and better. And oh my god, and we already see that there's already the stuff to make these great games like Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Resident Evil, Astrobot, all this stuff. It just takes some talent, some creativity, some patience. Pistol Whip I'm also looking forward to. And yeah. Oh, and that guy that made that article that was bashing VR, God damn it, Tree Guy.
It's so long. I'm so sorry.
The guy that made the VR article, like bashing VR or whatever.
The Forbes article?
Yeah, a lot of
that
those.
That was the worst shit I ever saw, man.
There was one dude who like rewrote the article, and he was like, "I was wrong," and he called out like every single person and was like, "You're wrong too. Oh, we were all wrong."
There's a few people I've seen since that article. So there was a Forbes article, if you guys don't know, where somebody tried an Oculus Go, and said that VR was fucking dead.
Yeah. This was recent.
Oh my god, this happened recently. The funny thing is that they actually mentioned Well, I couldn't track down a PSVR or an Oculus because they're so hard to find because so many people are trying to buy them that they're out of stock. And it's like, well, why did you not consider the fact that maybe that those are better and that's why people want them and you have no idea what you're talking about?
Too funny, man.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So a few people wrote counter articles saying like, I think my favorite one was this guy, Ben Lang, who I follow on Twitter. AJ, you probably follow him too because you're the Twitter guy. But he's a Twitter man. Follow AJ on Twitter. But basically, he went through and broke down like
I follow him and he follows me.
Cool.
That's the guy from Road to VR. He's the co-founder, executive editor of Road to VR. I like Road to VR.
Well, he wrote a very good article about that that concept that we're not there yet, or it's not going to catch on, or it's dead, or whatever. And it's a really good article. So
Road to VR.
There's differing opinions out there. And nobody trusts Forbes anyways. Forbes is the fucking for video game stuff. Who the fuck's listening to Forbes for video game stuff? Like that's like what your financial investor uncle is like looking at, you know? Like who cares what he thinks?
It just goes to show you that no matter how big your fucking multi-billion-dollar corporation is or multi-million-dollar corporation is, you're still fucking focused on clickbait. Like that was 100% clickbait. Yeah.
1,000%.
I read an article the other day that said AMD was accidentally cannibalizing PlayStation 5 sales because they're going into cloud gaming territory, and I was like, you've got to be out of your fucking mind to think that cloud gaming is going to take over anything in the next 10 years. So I was just like, this is the dumbest article I've ever read. I felt dumber after reading it.
Yeah.
All right, so. We do have not all the news this week.
Actually, wait, real quick before we get there, I want to say real quick. Forbes also published another article the next day that was an opinion piece saying that VR is good and not dead. And so somebody showed them like side to side, like in their news update, they were like articles about VR, and this one's from Forbes saying it's dead, and the next one above it a day later is saying it's not dead.
Yeah,
it's
they gotta get people to click
shit straight, you know?
Yeah. They make their money off of clicking, so
I mean, they probably
and I guarantee you a lot more people clicked on the dead one than the alive one or the
for sure. Well, after the dead one, people were probably stoked to click on the alive one.
Right. Like it was actual people that are interested in So we did get a message from the Budget Cuts developers saying, which this game was actually supposed to release originally May 15th. Alongside Iron Man, probably a good thing it didn't release alongside Iron Man. But they said, hey, everyone, the good news is that Budget Cuts on PlayStation VR is running smoother than ever. And after playtesting several times, we can confidently say that this is the most stable and content-packed version of the game to date. That is good news.
I can't type.
But he says, so here comes the bad news. Unfortunately, the world is in a very tumultuous state right now. And although we are very lucky to be in one of the relatively less affected industries of game development, we are feeling the effects of COVID-19 on slowing down and changing our production schedule. So Budget Cuts essentially, let me just skip through the rest, and says has been pushed back for coming to PlayStation VR the 10th of July. So that's actually not that bad. It's a 2-month delay. 2 months from now, we'll get Budget Cuts. I know a lot of people are really excited for this game and just love the kind of, it's got this like job simulator, like a stealth job simulator kind of mixture. But I'm looking forward to this one. I've heard really, really great things, and it makes me excited to hear that they're saying straight up that this is the best version of it.
Here's how I feel about that. I'm excited for this game. It's supposed to have a good story. It's supposed to be pretty funny.
Did we kill I'm HOTG?
I killed him. I was sick of it.
Okay. He's being obnoxious.
He's just, I don't care how old you are. You can be 5 years old. You can be 50 years old. You can still be a fucking troll. And he's a troll. And he's only here.
Guys,
he's only
on.
here.
Don't let him get to you. Quit giving him attention, Dave.
He's only here to ruin a fun time. We're all trying to have fun.
Don't feed the trolls.
And so, and that's the definition of a troll. Trolls just come into some place and try to ruin your good time. And if you want to be a troll, then I'm going to fucking kick you out. Also, if you thought that I kicked you out unfairly, ever, just send me an email, withoutparole@gmail.com. I always give people second chances, but not 6 chances. That's apparently my cutoff. So there's that. All right, dude. Budget cuts delayed till July 10th.
Yeah.
Is it just
I can
me?
handle that. I can handle that. But
is it just me, or is it harder?
You gonna
to
be
get
okay,
excited
Dave?
About smaller
You gonna be
games
okay?
now?
Hold on one second.
You gonna be okay with the July 10th?
People are asking it. I think we missed a tip. Did we miss a tip?
Oh
crap.
Oh,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, we did. Joe Grover, once again, the effing game cat. Gorn will just need a zombie plug-in on PC, of course, since PSVR is dead. Lowbrow for a tip. Booyah.
Whoa. Broke the internet with that hype level.
Ow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, Denzonian,
Thank you,
you were not the only person hyped for budget cuts. We are all hyped for budget cuts.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting feeling to be going back to some smaller games after spending so much time with Saints and Sinners. I said it in the Discord chat because of the Contagion Biotech update that's coming supposedly very soon for PSVR. I was like, we just played one of the greatest zombie games ever made.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
I
was
I
like,
don't think we'll have another. Oh, can I mute that? Sorry. This is what. Do you hear what comes out of my computer? That terrifying.
Was
noise?
that you? I thought that was Carlos, man.
No, when I'm freezing, it starts doing this thing where it's like. Rah, rah. Anyways, did I get through Joe Grover's whole tip while I was there?
Yeah, we nailed it.
Okay, cool. And I wanted to do this for Joe. This is his shot glass that he sent me. So, for you, Joe.
Brad Out of Hell is a nutball, and I love him for it. He is one crazy mofo.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. I love all the cats, man. I love all the game cats in the chat. Love everybody that's hanging out with us today. Very exciting week for PlayStation VR. Very good stuff. But so I was saying, do you guys find it hard? Like, how I already own Contagion, so I'm obviously going to check out the Biotech update. But man, we just played the greatest zombie game, one of the greatest zombie games ever made, and then for me,
how could you go back to Contagion after this?
That's what I'm.
It's gonna be hard.
That's what I'm saying. Really unsatisfying. I think a lot of games are going to be unsatisfying after this. To be honest, this game has raised the bar in a way that few games do.
Exactly.
Some games raise it for their genre or for whatever they're trying to do, but this is kind of just like across the board one of the best games we've ever seen. So it's hard to follow that up.
Yeah.
If you're anybody else.
This is like one of the greatest names and greatest comments I've ever seen. Hit me, Dave.
Oh,
and Brian, read it.
Oh, you want me to
Teamwork.
read
it? Hold on.
Teamwork here. We gotta come.
That's Alex the Meh with the $4.99 donation saying, finally was able to catch a live stream live. Love you goons. My 3 friends for the night. And a little heart. LOL JK. I have a teddy bear too.
That's my favorite comment in a while.
That's really good. I love that someone called us goons finally.
Yeah. Well, I get called a goon like every week, but your long chat is call me a goon. No, it's call me a ghoul.
Have you guys ever seen Jovi Ramy before?
Never.
What?
I've never seen this person before. Jovi Ramy. They say Davestation.
No, Dave. What did we just tell you, Dave?
Oh, don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the trolls. All right. See you later, Jovi. Get out of here. No, don't touch the kids, man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that was weird.
Dave, show me on the doll where the bad man touched you. She's right around here.
I've not been touched.
Sorry, Alex.
Oh,
I
can come over and help you out.
I love the vibes you created there. All right, guys.
He said autocorrect. Sorry. Oops.
Autocorrect.
I didn't mean to type that. Yeah. Oh, God,
okay, that's good. Good excuse.
That's a good. That's a good backpedal. I like.
Yeah, that is a good backpedal.
So your redemption.
Before we move on to the next thing, I do want to say that there is some news about the PS5. PlayStation Official Magazine. This is I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but I am a subscriber to PlayStation Official Magazine, which is still a thing, Brian.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe people still publish magazines at all.
Yes, and I will definitely share the contents of what I find from these magazines. It's like a subscription service, but anyways, there is a rumor that the PlayStation Official Magazine UK will feature the final design of the PlayStation 5 on the front cover of issue 176, August 2020. The magazine will go on sale digitally in June 2020 and will be available in the newsagents and supermarkets in the United Kingdom on June 30th, 2020. So what this tells me,
in Sony's never-ending attempt to reveal the PlayStation 5 in all the worst possible ways, they are continuing with print media.
Well, they are supposedly going to be showing the the word on the street, guys, is that they're going to be showing it off like in sometime next month, and they will have like a blog, like a PlayStation blog, is on it as well. I imagine they're going to have to do some kind of big state of play or some kind of big reveal, but there will be a blog with it as well, and then this magazine will have it, so we can expect to see what the PlayStation 5 looks like within about at least 2 months. I would think.
What
at
do you guys
least
think? Is it white? I think it's white.
I think it's white and black. I would love if it's white.
A little bit of black, a little bit of black, but I think white.
Dude, my Pro, I've got the white Pro. Oh my god, it looks so good. I love this thing. I know some people want. I mean, I think they should just go like honestly, just like all white or all black. Well, but
I got the dust covered one that's all gray.
All gray.
My Pro is just covered in dust.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing for me that's cool is it seems like they're designing the whole aesthetic around kind of what the PSVR looks like. Like the same two-tone color scheme and that kind of like cool futuristic, a little bit futuristic looking look. I think, PSVR is a very striking headset. It's the best looking, best feeling headset that exists. I'll stand by that forever. And I don't know. What do you guys say?
I'm dying here because the whole chat's like, "What's a magazine?" They're like, "What is it?" They're like, "What's reading?" They're trying to figure out what a magazine is. Yeah, man. I mean, I went with PSVR Underground for a reason.
Okay, well, I got a
keep it old school.
That was a quick one.
Wow,
Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat.
Yeah,
so many PSVR games played. Don't have enough time to play them all. Do you guys jump from game to game or just concentrate on one? I think for me, I'm a jumper. I don't always
jump.
I'm a jumper.
Dave would step back from that
ledge, my friend.
Okay, I quit. Okay,
you could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. And no, okay. So it's a $5 tip, by the way. Thank you, Donatello. You got a song for that one. That's unusual, but you
Brian.
Lucky there. See you later, Brian. So I think AJ and Brian concentrate more on one game until they play the fuck out of it. And for me, I've always been like a dilettante. Like if I really like a game, like so Walking Dead, this is to me like a testament to this game. This is a long ass VR game, like 15 hours, and I want to play it again as soon as I'm finished. That doesn't happen that often. Sometimes 3-hour games I don't even want to play all the way through. You know what I mean? And I'll just skip to some other game. So I don't know. These guys, let them answer. I'll let them answer. What do you guys do?
They're still trying to figure out what a magazine is.
Oh, I might have. Do I have a magazine? I don't
guys.
think I have a magazine in my house. Does anyone have a magazine in their house?
On
the toilet, maybe.
But anyways, I'm looking forward to. You guys excited about PS5? I'm excited about PS5.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh God.
It's for you, AJ.
That is Void Blazer with the $5 donation. Says PS5 announced via Telegraph.
It's the bee's knees.
It's the bee's knees.
That was good.
Thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you, man. Telegram, PS5 news.
Right. How about Morse code? Let's bring it down a notch. Beep, beep,
extra. PlayStation 5 ready for release in December.
Nice. That is great.
That's how they should do it. It. Mm-hmm. All right, so we still have some more amazing news to get to, believe it or not. Guys, Undead Citadel, Brian, is probably what you were thinking.
Are you
right?
kidding? That's what was missing from the run of
just nailed it. Thank God I have a Twitter, Brian, because that's how I keep
everybody follow.
Guys, you got to follow AJ on Twitter. This is a running joke.
Undead Citadel has released new footage from the Alpha 1.1, and man, I gotta tell you guys, did you guys get to watch this footage yet?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I mean, I didn't realize that Kratos was in a new game.
I thought the voice, so it shows off like a lot of the combat and stuff. I thought, first of all, the world, we knew from the beginning the world looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, we were like, that's not PS footage. Like, that's not PlayStation footage. And then like a week later, they show that same footage with the dude like playing next to it. And they were like, fuck you guys, this is PS footage. And yeah, we haven't heard about this game. We haven't heard anything from these developers since like maybe October of last year.
It's been a long time.
It's been like since like October, maybe even summer of last year, almost a year now.
And let's just remind people, who are these devs? What did they make beforehand?
Dark Curry. This is their first game.
They're
first game ever.
Yeah.
They never made anything.
Well, I don't think you
I'm
might
sure
want to fact check me on
I'm sure
that.
people on the dev team have made other things as
this is their first
the
VR game.
This is the first VR.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, it shows off some of the combat. One thing I thought was really interesting on the combat, for everybody that's asking about like blades and sorcery and stuff, this is something you want to keep your eye on because it's got this like visceral combat to it. And there was one thing that really shocked me actually, where he like stabs a dude, grabs his head, and he just pulls his head straight off, like in the middle of the combat. And I was like, holy shit! It's like a zombie undead dude.
Yeah.
So I can imagine their limbs and stuff are a little weaker, but this looked really good. And I thought the banter from the Kratos guy that Brian's talking about, I actually like kind of laughed at some of his jokes and references.
Here, hold on. Let me turn up the sound on this for the first time. See if we can hear him.
Okay, let's be quiet for a second. Let's let you guys.
Brother in this town? Where the fuck is everybody? By all the...
All right, I have no idea if his voice was in any of that, but it's such a Kratos ripoff. It's so over dramatic. It's so dark and gruff and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I need this, but
it worked.
But it works, yeah. So hopefully he doesn't talk too much during the game. But I will say that this made me feel pretty good. This first half of the new footage that they sent out, because the second half is all like a horde mode kind of thing. But the first half gives me a lot of faith that this is going to deliver the things I'm looking for, you're going to be actually looking around and like looking for items and health items and trying to stock up on supplies and give you a reason to explore. And then the combat looks awesome as well. My concern was that it's just 9 levels of fucking combat, and it looks like there's a lot more to the game than that. So.
Yeah, I watched the video, and yeah, that footage did have the sound. So
good. We lucked out.
My concern really with this one is that like after having played Saints and Sinners, like melee combat is going to feel different to me now, I think. And so like floaty combat can't abide anymore. Like if this is from what I saw in the footage, it looks like there's not the same sense of weight to anything.
It seemed like there was a lot of weight, but the one thing that I want to know is that it does that same thing as Shadow Legend, where it like seems to slow down for a second. So I don't know if that's going to do that like all the time. That might have just been the horde mode. But I don't know how I'm going to feel about the whole, it slows down for a second when you like chop somebody's head off or something. Because I don't think I was a big fan of that in
Shadow Legend. It was excessive. I mean, a lot of times I was like, okay, can I trigger this when I want to, or does this have to happen every fucking time? Like, it was a little excessive. I just think if there's not like a weight to the combat, we need games like Golem and like Saints and Sinners for melee combat that have a certain physics engine and a weight to what you're doing, where it feels like you can't just go like this and accomplish something. Like there is a tactile nature to this is heavy. You know, I need to swing this a certain way. I need to hold this a certain way. And if it's just another one of those games where you have a sword and you go ka-shink, 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 like you're a fucking superhuman. I don't know if I'm as excited about that as I used to be. Like it looks great.
Yeah, we'll see. Cool. But this is one of those things we won't know until we get our hands on it.
Fun, I could get over that if the game is fun. But
the gameplay looks pretty good, and this is going to be like a standard moving forward. Something we look for in games. No more waggle. If a game just has waggle, I saw footage of that witching tower thing arena game, and yes, it is literally like just the same combat. And they made a game out of the worst aspect of that game.
So real quick, we got a double thing we got to talk about here because we have a tip, but it's in reference to a previous comment. So Elite12 says, "It's my birthday today. Can you wish me and my dog Toby a happy birthday?" Of course, yes. Happy birthday, Toby.
Did we get? We didn't get his name. Oh no, there it is. My name is Norris.
Elite Snipe 12.
No, he says my name is Norris. By the way,
happy
big
birthday,
fan.
Norris.
Thank you very much for watching the channel. Hopefully your dog is a fan too.
Big happy birthday to you, Norris. And
then we've also got a tip to follow that.
And your dog Toby. Yo, dog Toby. Let me take this one because this is my dude, Donatello the Scientist Game Cat with the $1.99 donation. Says happy birthday, Elite Sniper 12. That's the person who we just wished a happy birthday to. How about my dude Donatello giving a tip just to help us catch that comment of giving this person a happy birthday? What a swell fella, man. I'm proud of you, Donnie. I'm proud of you, man. That is very kind of you.
Yeah.
My
only problem with this entire thing is that Elite Snipe's name is Elite Snipe 012 and not Elite Snipe 012 the Game Cat. I was like, really? You're a big fan, but you're not a Game Cat yet? I'm just kidding.
That can be changed
Just kidding. We love you even if you're not #Game Cat.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
Don't forget to change your name to Game Cat something.
People are talking about what they'd like me to wear, and I don't know how I feel about this.
But I'm excited for this, man. My excitement level was really low on this because they had been so quiet. And seeing this footage, how polished it looks and stuff, now we got Game Cats wishing him a happy birthday as well. Thank you, JB. Thank you, everyone who's wishing him a happy birthday as well.
For real. We get
Love this fucking community,
nicest
man.
Community in the world, right?
Anybody that needs some PSVR peeps to play with, chat with, hang out with, make sure you join the Discord in the description. We've got the nicest damn people here in the world. I swear to God, they are amazing.
We also have a PSN community that we've been using for like multiplayer meetups and stuff. Sometimes it's a little spammy. I will say there's sometimes like way too many messages going on in there, but for the
oh man, Dave, you are fucking not hearable. We cannot hear you.
All right, so
real quick though, before we move on, Atmos VR 77 looks like click turning. I noticed that they're definitely using click turning in this footage, and
yes.
This is early, right? AJ was like, "Oh, I kind of lost faith in these guys because we didn't hear from them for so long." I love when developers go dark. I love when we hear about a game and then we don't hear shit for like a year because I'm like, I don't want to think about that game. I want to, in the back of my mind, I want to be like, man, I can't wait to hear more about that. And then when we finally hear more about it, I'm like, sweet, this is awesome. I'm excited, but please tell me it's coming out soon. So I like when they go dark. I still think this is early footage. And I would say that a lot of developers suffer from motion sickness. So sometimes this is the only way you can capture footage, which is crazy to hear, right? People are making games with full locomotion, smooth turning, but they suffer from motion sickness. And so sometimes this is the only way for them to get footage out there without barfing.
Right.
Okay.
I'm so mad. I just accidentally deleted all my sticky notes, apparently.
Sticky notes.
That is awful.
But it's you keep getting shit accidentally deleted today.
I keep so many sticky notes on my computer, and it's how I do like every GAMESCAST, everything. And
luckily, we're almost done, so there's that.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't have any more stories.
Well, I had more stories, and they're gone now.
Sticky notes. Well,
let me go back to my Twitter.
Email, right?
You go
just check your Twitter feed.
I must consult my Twitters, but
if you need a TLDW, too long didn't watch for this thing, just check AJ's Twitter and you can see all the stories we're talking about.
All right. Abo got some more footage. Contagion Outbreak update coming soon. Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners released this week, you guys.
This week.
War and Gore bought Home Sweet Home. Good call, my friend. That is a fantastic game. Tarzan was like, hey, follow us on Twitter for some epic announcements, and then didn't do anything. We already talked about Vader Immortal. Foley of Dear Father, guys. Alfonso Prota said quarantine does not stop us, and he shows footage of himself playing
on PlayStation
Foley
VR headset.
Father on a PSVR headset. Yep. Yes. Hopefully, all of you downloaded the Dirt Rally 2.0.
Or at least added it to your library. You don't need to actually download it. Just make sure you get it while it's free.
Yeah, no, that's what I do. Put it in your library. Oh, real quick, Donatello is back. You can read this, AJ, if you want. But...
Donatello the Scientist Game Cat, my dude, Joe Grover. Okay, he's everybody's dude. You guys can have him too. We can share. He says, yes, it is the best community. And it really is, man. It really is. This community brought me out of a crippling depression years ago, and it just like I've just never been happier. So to answer whoever's question that was at one point, it was I actually do like to focus heavily on one game, but when there's not a lot of games, like I'm going to be focusing heavily on Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. But when there isn't something new and shiny to play with, I play a shit ton of games. I play 8 games every Saturday on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning's mine. You get
Saturday morning
night.
Is Bryan.
Yeah.
Everybody make sure you watch Saturday morning, Bryan, and then Saturday night where all the cool kids play.
Yeah, let's be fair. Everybody likes you more than they like me.
I'm going to start doing Saturday afternoon when I get my new laptop, and then I'll get you guys. We'll have all day.
Then the trifecta will be complete. We will have your whole Saturday. But Bryan, I have Skyrim Sundays. So you got
but I got PSVR this week on Sundays. So
yeah, and that is important. Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up for all the news. Saints and Sinners is here. Go out and buy it. Happy day indeed.
That $6.99 Canadian
he got 2
donation came from Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat. He said, "Sorry to beat a dead horse, but for a dead peripheral, there seems to be the best damn community on the freaking planet. Keep up the good works, gents." And you give a little muscle there. Good stuff.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, you guys. I think that wraps it up, man. 3-hour Gamescast Live. 3-hour Gamescast Live. Thank you everybody who hung out the entire time. Thank you to everybody who jumped in partway through. Thank you everybody who started watching and then left because they had real life things to deal with. Yeah. Or Seek just said it's 3 a.m. where he is. I'm like, oh damn, dude. Thank you for hanging with us for most of it. What are you?
Huggy.
You're hugging us?
I'm hugging you guys.
You're hugging the whole community?
Yes.
I don't know if
They haven't had physical interaction in a while. They needed
awkward.
it.
It gets real awkward. Here, I'm gonna lean in. I just looked the whole community.
It's not the first. Oh man.
Yeah.
Now you guys need to go take a shower.
So I don't know if you guys probably don't know this about me, but when I worked at a restaurant, because I've worked at a restaurant for the last 25 years of my life. I licked a lot of people. Like I was a licker. I would sneak up behind people and lick them on the neck.
Licked them?
Oh yeah, if they came in to give me a hug, I'd lick them on the face. Like I'm a licker. I'm a fucking weirdo. Yeah. So I just licked all of you. What's that?
Resident Evil? You're a licker. You got
but people were just as disgusted. They didn't.
One of my exes had this obsession with wanting to lick my eye. She licked my eyeball one day.
Is that a fetish? Is that a thing?
That is weird.
She had this. She just really wanted to. Yeah, I don't know why.
There was this really high-profile boxing match recently that I never watched boxing, but my friends were. I already answered your question, Nanny. I don't collect stamps. I already answered you. Chill. Okay, hold on. I don't know why I'm getting asked if I collect stamps. I got sidetracked. There was this major boxing match that went down, and one of the guys started licking the other dude while he was beating the shit out of him, and it was very creepy. Very intense, and I can just picture you doing that to people all the time, and it's a little unsettling.
Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo. If anybody out there thinks I'm normal in even the slightest regard, get your fucking shit together. It's not true.
Yeah, one more at least.
Do it up, man.
Oh.
Look at that.
Joe Grover, the effing game cat, 5 buckaroo nose, says I'll never play anything again. I'll just watch the homies stream. Okay, I'm over that. Play in a minute. Oh, we got another one.
I've got.
This one is Delirium Drew, a good friend of mine. I play games with him all the time on the PSN.
We love Drew. Came to the last Game Cat meetup, man. Oh, I guess I'll take over for Dave. He says, "I love you guys." # Dead Horse. Rainbow Guy says, "Is AJ bald?" We'll never know. That's the thing.
I got a system now. As soon as it freezes,
100,000 subs, guys. Let's get the 100,000 subs. I will do a hair reveal.
Nanny says, "Dave, when can I see my kids again?" Do you collect stamps? Is so much more important. All right, we got to end this. It's been such a long stream. Again, thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who commented. Thank you to everybody who hangs out and just watches. And everybody who doesn't comment and say a fucking word, man. We know you're out there. There's a bunch of people walking
around out there.
Walkers.
Watching.
Right.
We got a bunch of walkers.
Right. Best damn community in the world. Don't forget, share this video. Make sure you get we just hit 60K, man. We're trying to hit 100K. Let's do that fucking fast. So make sure you share this with your friends. Subscribe to Without Parole. Go to Dave's channel, Davestation VR.
You almost say subscribe to Polish Paul.
I hope not.
No.
I mean, he's a cool guy too. I'm pretty sure you just said subscribe to Polish Paul.
I definitely didn't say that. All right. Go to Davestation VR and subscribe to his channel. Go to PlayStation VR Underground, or PSVR Underground as the abbreviation goes. Hit that fucking microphone and subscribe to his channel. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We love you all.
Dave tried to hold on. Oh, man, you guys are wonderful, wonderful. Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat, Nanny Munchhead says, please don't do this to me. What do we do?
I think we're abandoning him.
I am or seek. Wonder Rob says, I agree. Drew is the man. Drew is cool. Delirium Drew, he's awesome, man.
Very cool.
Nick Mulo, he's okay. He's our tough man.
Lots of awesome moderators. We love all of our
Nike
mods.
Alexandra, the Game Cat. It's a cat thing. She says it's a cat thing. You can lick Brian.
Yes, it's a cat thing.
Justin Krebel VR, Mark Pringles Leaf, Johnny Ripe off the Stray Cat. Brian became a licker. That's a condition that you get from too much Resident Evil.
Yes,
yeah, I know.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing to have.
Hard to get. Says when a GAMESCAST streamed in the VR world. Yeah, when big screen comes, it'll be interesting to see. First of all, we're going to be watching like horror movies every single day. Actually, we probably will have like designated movie days for the community once big screen VR. We're waiting on them too. They did some partnership with Sony, but we don't exactly know like when the game is coming out yet. Remy, Guts Griffin, thank you so much. Says, well, back to SNS. Yes, that's right. Uncle JC,
guys,
group hug.
I'm going to be playing too. If anybody wants to get on that party chat we were talking about, I'm definitely playing. Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ships Geek Out. Bogeyman Productions, my metal brother. David Moore. He says you guys got at least another hour, and you probably do if you had some material. But Android 16 says, stay safe, cats. You too as well. You got cold yogurt? He says, at least we gone out with a bang. PSVR rip. Decepticon.com, everybody. GG. Denzonian. Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you for joining. Zach Lightning, time to play. Yeah, everybody go play
the outro?
there.
Is this why you're reading
the screen's been black for like 20 seconds now.
Everybody go play.
I didn't know that.
Hugh Guyver, Matt Guyver's cousin, Donatello, big shout out again. Rainbow Guy, what's up, man? Thank you guys all for joining. Love y'all.
Okay. Oh, can I stop the stream now? Is that allowed?
That Space Shooter gave the Game Cat.
Yes, he's doing the right thing. He's watching What We Do in the Shadows, which is a great show. Go watch it. Yes,
awesome. Bye, everyone. We love you all.
That's my should we.